And we're live.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Look at Lee coming in loud and clear on his brand new PC.
Heck yeah, trying to get everything set up before the live started, and I think I barely made it. I got out of work late today, and then the traffic was backed up in both directions no matter where I went. So instead of taking 25 minutes to get home, it was an hour and a half.
Of course, when you want to get home quick to do something,
Oh, yeah. And
it's
I'd
going to
actually
slow
planned
down.
on leaving early so I could come home and get it done, but I got out late and traffic.
But the computer's so fast, he still got it done.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Most of what he was doing.
Everything that we need for tonight, anyway.
Man, so first things first, just to make sure mom's doing fine.
Oh, yeah. In fact, she's in the kitchen frying fish right now.
Okay.
She had another mini stroke. She had one back in 2019, but that one was a lot worse. I mean, she tried to talk and none of the words matched what she thought.
Right.
Yesterday, they just got a little bit slurred, a little slow, and then she was kind of disoriented, off balance.
Well, glad she's doing better and feeling better, and tell her to save me a piece of fish. Just
You
kidding.
just brought me one a minute ago.
Hey, I have to give Johnny Walker from Tennessee Mountain Bees a shout out. He was, if you notice, his comments are green. His stand out because he's a standout human. He actually, he's my first subscriber to my channel. So I really appreciate that. Man, it made me feel good that someone decided to join. You might be the only one ever, Johnny. I don't know. But I do appreciate that you did think enough of the channel to support it like that. And I appreciate that. And, today was school day, so I went and did the kitty video. I didn't know at the time when I uploaded it that if you put this is made for children, that it turns off all the comments. So my daughter that's in Germany, she messaged me and she said, "Why are the comments turned off, Dad?" So I went in there and undid them. So if, hopefully everybody's on the up and up. I sent you a picture yesterday. That spammer that was spamming our chat actually made a video of him spamming our chat and put it on his channel. That's what he does. He spams channels.
IP2 wins every time, huh?
Yeah. So he goes ahead and spams channels, and then when he spams channels, he videotapes what they do to get out of the spam. So,
that's ridiculous.
I know it said he had no views. I ended up watching it, but I don't know why I watched it because it was I was there, right? I knew what we did. We turned on the time delay.
Yep.
So
I think he only had 4, maybe 5 videos total on his channel.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that gets off on using other people's content.
Yep. But every video that he had on there was him spamming people and what they were trying to do to get rid of him.
Yep. And we actually did end up winning once we set that because he left.
Yep.
So he says, he wins every time. It took us a while to figure it out, but once we figured it out, he was done. So let me see. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Three Boys Bees, Peter Gunn, Johnny Walker, William from Dry Cut, and James from Michigan.
You sure he's from Michigan?
I think he's from Michigan. So I've been working on the co-op situation. Only one person, I was a little bit disappointed. Only one person emailed me about joining the co-op or would be interested in joining a co-op. Was a little bit surprised by that. I thought more people would have said, yeah, I want to get in. And just to give you an idea, I got a phone call today from someone that has tentatively hooked me up with a company that wants to buy honey. And they make peanut butter using honey. So there's a good chance that our co-op's first customer from a sales side of thing, being able to sell stuff, will be a peanut butter producer.
I like adding a little honey and peanut butter anyway myself.
So from what I gather, they do about 10,000. Not a big company, guys, but they do about 10,000 units a year right now. But they're growing. Stone, I put a swarm trap near mine. I always leave an empty box with a empty cone in it to try to catch swarms if anything in my yard swarms. But the best thing to catch swarms in your yard is being proactive and recognizing that there's a swarm that could happen and making the adjustments prior, keeping them just weak enough for that. Now, Lee, this is my first year trying the single brood box management, and the super nuke is blowing up after 2 weeks. It is just destroying building comb, storing nectar. It's like on crack. I don't know what they're doing, but
rather than them having to build out that second brood box, once that first one's full, they go straight into attack mode on any super above them and just draw them out quick.
Well, what I'm worried about is now, since yesterday, I actually found her in that top, the super right above the brood box. But I shook her back down and put a queen excluder on top of her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now I'm worried that they may try to swarm out of that box.
No, they shouldn't. I mean, even if she laid some eggs in your super, once they hatch out, 85-90% of the time, all they're going to do is backfill it with nectar. I mean, and you don't have to run a queen excluder on them. I mean, it's nicer, especially if you're doing comb honey. You want to make sure you got an excluder. You don't want any cocoon or anything in your comb. But the only time I've had the trouble with them swarming, like I said here a while back, I was working 712s and more, and I couldn't get to the bees, and they swarmed on me.
Well, I've been out there, guys. If you don't know, I have a heart condition, so I don't talk about it all the time. But some days, like today, after going to the school, and then I moved the observation hive out of the observation hive into a 10-frame box. So, I don't want my observation hive messed up with a bunch of burr comb in the glass and everything. So I took them out of there. But a few people tried to contact me today, and I was just wore out, and I went and laid down. So I'm not trying. I wasn't trying to. It was Earl. If Earl's watching, I wasn't trying to ignore you, buddy. I was just beat and trying to get some rest before having to come and do this. And so I try to get out early. That's why I try to get out early in my bee yard before it gets scathingly hot here. It was 90 today. Mm-hmm. And by the time you put on your jacket, I actually, when I went out later on in the day, I didn't even put my jacket on. I just had my veil and my gloves on today. So I didn't get stung, but you know.
I tried going out with just my head veil on lately. Since nectar flow, they're not quite as aggressive. So I'll try the veil by itself. Now, if they start hitting me, I'll put my jacket on.
Guys, I'm going to toss the link out here. If anybody's wanting to come in tonight, we'll go ahead and get that put up there. Hey, Randy. Let me see.
Hey there, Randy.
Hey, can you pin that in here? Or do you have to do it on your individual chat?
Let me see.
I'm going to pin it at the top of the chat.
You pin it on yours, and I'll pin it on mine.
And that way, we don't have to keep reposting and reposting it, but it's there at the top if anybody wants to join us tonight. You know, it's Tuesday night, and we're just getting started.
Just real quick, I'm going to throw something in here just for the heck of it.
Look at that.
Hey, we got to show it off. Or at least I got to.
It's pretty.
There's the new toy.
I got the little mini tripod today out. Since I'll show you the thing that I was talking about was broke on. Well, that's the mini tripod. But this was the clip for the other one. You see how it's broke right there?
Mm-hmm.
And broke right there. That's from the tripod mount that I had was this thing. Nope. Is this it? No, this thing. This thing was on that thing. So this little clip would hold it in, but it only fits either this way or that way, because it's not perfectly square. So I had to improvise. So when this is, it'll come out even when it's locked because it broke. So
We got Ty down here. We can bring him in.
Ty.
What's up, Ty?
Hey. What's up?
Uh-oh. Got to mute your tab.
Uh-oh.
I didn't hear it.
Is that better? Yeah, I don't hear
I don't
it
know.
now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
okay.
good. So how's it going, man?
I can't complain. I'm actually waiting on my bees. Lee got his Sunday. I'm waiting for. I got a newt coming. So
Yeah, whenever she called me the other
waiting
day,
for
I asked her where you were on the list. She said it was just a couple more down, but it should be hopefully the end of this week.
If y'all would have came, I would have hooked you up with nukes right here out of my own yard.
Hey, I got 3 of them. I'm just looking to add more. I'm going to put these straight into a box.
Sarah says Charlie B Company's on PBS. Talking about Sawmill, Charlie? Is that who you talking about, Sarah?
That's something else, I think. I appreciate it, Silver Gorilla. It was I had a good time. I didn't get a lot of it because I didn't know what the regulations were with putting kids onto YouTube and all of that stuff. So I did a whole before the waggle dance and all that stuff. I had we were in the cafeteria, so I had a big drop down screen, and it was my slideshow was projected on there, and I took the observation hive. I took the hives from Brian's 3D printouts, right? Took those. I took a block of beeswax. And we talked about everything. And then they had like a million questions. And, the funny thing was I still had Starburst left over, which I don't even know how that's a possibility because there was like 100 kids and I only had like 100 Starburst. So maybe some kids made their teacher mad. They didn't let them get some or something. I don't know. But yeah, I had a great time doing that today. It's just getting up, driving through traffic and all that in the morning when I felt like I should have been with my bees. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was better than where I was at work all day.
Well, with stuff like that, I think that we need to show the kids about it because if you don't, there's no chance that they'll grow up and ever want to be a beekeeper probably, or they'll be old like me when they start to think about it,
Well, that, I mean, it'll teach them how pollination works, really. I mean, where some of their food comes from, where a lot of their food actually comes from.
I actually asked them a question. I'm like, you guys tell me, see if anybody here can name a food that the bees didn't help produce. And someone said pizza. And I said, well, yeah, not pizza specifically, but pepperoni is pork, right? Pork, they eat grass, they eat clover, they eat wheat, they eat corn, right? So everything in pepperoni was fed by stuff that was pollinated by bees. And cheese, the same thing for the cows or goats if you use goat, right? So really tomatoes for tomato sauce. The bread is all wheat and everything. So really, one kid said water, but is water a food really?
No.
I mean, I don't know. I said,
yeah,
I think it's a necessity. I said, yeah, you got me with the water. The water, you got me. I said, and maybe carrots. Someone said carrots, and I wasn't sure because I don't know if carrots don't get pollinated, do they? Because they're a root.
That I'm not sure.
The flowers do. The
do
green
carrots
above
flower?
the ground does.
Okay, well then, yeah, I did my little bee dance. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I think we need to do things like that when we can. Barnyard bees. I was going to buy some bees from Barnyard, but Barnyard is like 4 hours away from me. So,
Well, who was that the other day? It took a 5-hour drive. Was that
Sheldon
Houston?
Houston. He went up to Greg's.
Yep.
He said Greg usually on his trip he used to stop along the way and let you like meet and pick him up at a spot. He said, but this year he didn't, so he had to go up to Greg's and pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did talk with John Hill from Hillco about the co-op, and he's looking in to see what he could do to, help if you're a member of the co-op to get a discount on beekeeping supplies. And that's the only supplier that I've talked to as of yet. But I thought it was pretty neat that we could potentially be able to sell our honey to a peanut butter maker. So at a decent price from what I gather right now. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out after we hit them with the old. Go ahead.
I got a question. What do you? What does each? I don't know. I think I know what Lee sells his honey for. What do you sell your for, Bob?
I sell mine $1 a pound more than Lee does, and people are telling me I'm still cheap.
I've had a lot of people telling me he does good price what I have here. I need to go up.
I sell mine for $12 a pint, and
Okay,
then what I'll do
you're
is
cheaper than me.
I was about to say you
Well,
even cheaper because you figure a pint is 24 weight ounces, so you're looking at 1.5 pounds.
Yeah,
and a pint.
I sell a pint for 15 and 1 pound for 10. So people are telling me that I should be more like $12 to $13 a pound. A decent price. It hasn't been finalized, but the guy is buying it for $12 a pound right now to make peanut butter with. So $12 a pound is a pretty fair price in most markets.
I think it would be good. And then you think about it, you'd be selling it probably either by the gallon jug or the 5-gallon bucket. So you're not even buying each individual 1 pound container.
Right.
So you're actually coming out better.
Yep. So that's something that's in discussion. And when I say discussion, a guy told me that he knows the guy that makes the peanut butter that's not happy with his honey supplier. And he is getting him in contact with me. So it might be a week or so, he said, before I get in contact with him. But if I'm selling it for $10 a pound now, and I have to spend roughly, what do we figure, 80 cents by the time you put a label and everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
depending on what kind of labels you got, but yeah, probably anywhere from 80 cents to $1. By the time you have the container, the lid, your labels.
$12 a pound, there's 60. Whoops, hold on. $12 a pound, there's 60 pounds in a 5-gallon pail. $720 per 5 gallons.
I could handle that.
I could handle it too. I wouldn't even bottle anymore. I would send every bit of honey that the guy wanted, assuming it's a guy, the company wanted, in a 5-gallon pail. Or, if we have to put it in a 55-gallon pail drum, I don't care. I'll load it in my truck and drive it up to them. But I don't know how much honey they put per jar of peanut butter, right? So that's the thing. We don't know what the demand is. And once we find that, we'll be able to negotiate. But here's the thing, guys. When I say this, I'm not going to make anything off of your honey. You will make the money off of your honey. It only gives us an outlet to negotiate as a conglomerate to sell our honey to people who want it. It doesn't mean you're going to, and what is in the benefit for the company? The company knows that it's local beekeepers, or it is actual USA beekeepers that are producing the honey, and it's pure raw honey. That's it. I'm not going to get in your pockets, and we're not trying to take a cut or anything like that. It's about negotiating the best price for the honey and all of us selling it for the same price and all of us making the most we can make on the lower local level.
And even if each individual beekeeper was able to send, hey, just one bucket a year, hey, that's still profit for you,
Right.
no matter how much it is.
So from what I gathered, this guy is actually out of North Carolina, which is driving distance for me, really, anywhere in North Carolina. If I'm getting $12 a pound and I'm selling, $720 a bucket, I'm making a trip. And if I have to say, hey, Lee, I need honey, and Lee says, well, I got some honey. I'm going to pick up Ty's excess honey and my excess honey, and we'll meet you in Alabama and load it into a truck and bring it back. You know what I mean? Yeah, or a barrel. We just got to find out what their usage is. But it's just a starting point. It's one place to start.
Here's a good question.
It varies. Yeah. What I'm told is a strong colony can produce at least 100 pounds.
Yeah. On average, I would say, about 30 to 32 pounds per medium super if it's completely full. And it would just depend on how big your flow is in your area. If it's a real strong flow, they can fill them up. If you run a single brood management or double.
I've got 3 supers on that nuke already. And they're working on 2 of them.
I'm about to throw my third one on number 1 hive.
And I might
look at the video.
Yeah,
I posted a video. I've got 3 under the queen excluder. On top of it right now. It's amazing how that's the strong hive. That was the hive that swarmed on me because they were honey bound. So I got a super underneath of the queen excluder, and I put a deep in between a deep in that super. I know that one super that's under the queen that has got honey in it. I know that. So right now I'm looking at 2 supers right now that have honey in it.
I know my number 1 hive last year, I believe it was 5 supers I had on that one hive.
Well, I'm surprised with that nuke, because that nuke is outproducing some of my colonies that have been in existence for over a year already, right? They're just slamming it. I don't know what they're on crack or something. They did a line of coke before they went out to harvest or something. I don't know. They're just hyped up. Maybe they got into my Mountain Dew.
Are they African?
No, they're Carniolan. They're Carniolan.
Okay, there's. I've got a hive that's Carniolan, and I have noticed they're slow to start. But once that queen gets reared up, they'll fly when it's overcast, when it's raining. They'll come and go. Where the others, the Italians, will stay inside the hive. They won't even venture out.
Well, even my Italians, I noticed that when it's been hot, they'll kind of take a break and they'll just kind of start. They'll start clustering on the outside, right? And not that colony. That colony's like, we got work to do. The Carniolans are blasting it, but the Italian colonies, they start just bearding on the outside of the colony. So I was thinking about adding another super on that to let the heat rise up more, and maybe that'll control the temperature better inside the colony and encourage them to come back in. Because if they're outside bearding, they're not working. They're just chilling. So
you run hard bottom, don't you?
Yeah, solid bottom boards.
I run all screen bottoms, especially down here in Louisiana with the humidity and the temperature. And I've had no problems with any of that. I'm very seldom to have any bearding going on whatsoever.
I've only got it on one colony really strong that's doing it, but the rest of them are not doing it that bad.
Like I said, depending on your flow, especially here in South Louisiana, we get a whole lot of tallow. And when tallow starts hitting, they'll bring it in. And pull this here up, let you see what it looked like.
That's last year, right?
Yeah, last year.
Do you got an excluder on that one?
No excluder. but it got 5 supers, and it was loaded.
Hey, Rob and Mrs. Rob, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. You're running out of boxes and frames? I've got plenty of boxes. I thought I had enough frames. I'm down to like 4 cases, but I think only 1.5 of deeps and 2. I think I got 2 or 2.5 of medium, which is still not enough to fill all my boxes up. So 15 colonies. Awesome. That's going to be great. I've got, my thing is I've got both nukes running and 10 frame deeps going, right? And so I've got some room to wiggle. That's a honey hotel. Brad, I'm mad at you, man. I messaged you to call me yesterday with my number, and you didn't call me. Just blew me off. There went Lee. Where'd Lee go? Let's see. How much should I let him build up before I split him? He said. That's really up to you. My mentor splits them light and then lets them build up, so he doesn't have to worry about his nukes splitting. His nukes swarming off on him. Yeah, so you never got it. I commented on your comment about the honey super yesterday. And then so it depends. Are you going to put them in a 10 frame box? Or are you putting them in a nuke? Some people let them get really strong. If it's honey flow and they're really strong, I wouldn't split them till after the honey flow. Me personally,
right?
But it depends where you're at. I mean, if you're up north, then the honey flow, you may not have time to get a mated queen back, or you have to buy a queen to put in there with them.
Yeah, I think I'm going to, on mine, I haven't done it before, but I made 3 splits already this year. I'm going to, after the honey flow, once I pull the honey, I do believe I'm going to go back in, because I'm not going to put the supers back on. I do believe I'm going to make at least 1 split off each hive, so I will have 4 more splits later on. I know down here though, I don't think we have to worry about getting a mated queen back, because it's still summertime all the way till November.
Yeah, right. As long as you got drones, you're good to go, right?
Right. Well, when you make, I mean, in my video, I said the thing, everybody do you is the best way to do these bees. You take the information from everybody, you put it together, whatever works. I mean, because we're here giving information out, but that doesn't mean it works for me. It may not work for Lee. Lee works for him, doesn't work for me. I mean, it's just gathering information and working your hive, and their hive is going to tell you what to do. But like I say, I got 3 splits. This is first 3 successful walk away splits, and that's amazing to me. So I'm proud of that, and I'm going to continue that. I've got nuke boxes. I've got 10 nuke boxes that Lee told me where to get the boxes from. I think I've got 7 or 8 of them. I have to get more frames because I don't have any more frames for them. But I plan on, what I want to do is next year I'm going to start getting into selling the nukes. I'm going to keep
I sold 2 nukes so far this year. I got another guy that called me. My thing is with selling nukes, if I'm keeping extra nukes for myself and someone wants 2 nukes and I box them up and sell them 2 nukes, then I can just take a split off my other nukes, let them do a walk away split, make their own queen, and just know that I can't sell them 2 anymore, right? They got to make a queen.
Right.
And that leaves me 8 more I can sell. Unless I want to buy some queens and pop in there with them, then I could flip it a little bit quicker. But it's just about diversifying what you're what you're trying to do, and the ways you're trying to be profitable in your bee business.
Is that Miss Kim?
That's me.
No, there's Lee. Lee saw you.
I could barely
Come
see her
here.
on the corner there.
Oh, okay. She was showing me. There
Hey,
she
Miss
is.
Kim.
Hey, Lee.
That's my better
What's
half.
Oh, staying busy.
What are y'all doing?
Talking bees.
Talking bees. That's Bob. That's Bob. He lives in
Hey.
North Carolina.
Hey, Bob.
South Carolina. I live in South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's a
I
common
just had to
mistake.
come and show him some pictures. So, okay.
Oh,
Peace.
no
Bye.
problem. See you later. So just a bunch of bee nerds talking. That's what we are. Hey guys,
Yeah.
the link is pinned in the chat. If anybody wants to join in, welcome to come on board and talk with us. So you've been making any more
Yeah.
mead? What's going on?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about, maybe donating, honey, selling honey for y'all for this peanut butter. I'll take donations because right now I can't make any mead because I'm running down until I pull the honey. So
Right.
now that I've gotten into making the mead, I'm gonna, I'm gonna sell. I shouldn't really say it, but I'm gonna sell some of it because I've got a whole case of pint jars of mead. I got regular mead, blueberry mead, and I got cherry mead. And
I told you before how to get around that selling. All you got to do is hand it to them
No,
if they want to make a donation to you.
That's what I say. I'm accepting donations.
Just put a box that says donations, however much you want on it.
Yeah.
$10
Jars
donation
are
for-
free. Donation $10.
Yeah, but minimum $10 donation.
Yes. It's just like that. You get this. You put this much in. You're capable of taking this much.
Right.
Hey Bob, you seen that comment Ricky put in there, huh?
That I want to live in North Carolina. My son lives in North Carolina. He lives in Charlotte.
Okay.
So the
I had a bad experience going through South Carolina. I broke down, and it took me forever to get through there. Is it Batesville, South Carolina?
Batesburg, Leesville. Batesburg.
Somewhere. Excuse the French, but it's bumfuck Egypt. There was nothing around. There was a little gas station, and 20 miles either way. I broke down, had to go 20 miles back to get a U-Haul to haul the car back. It was a mess.
Welcome to South Carolina.
Yeah. In the hills, the road, 20 was like this the whole way, up and down, up and down.
That's us. Well, there he is, the antisocial Cajun homestead and beekeeping. All right, so we have a topic to talk about, but first I'm going to grab a drink and let Lee take over for a second. But we have a topic to discuss because it's the whole under-supering, over-supering. We're going to talk about that when I get back. Hold on one second.
And also, I'm trying to bring up a little wheel of names over here for after a while. I need to do my giveaway again for Ricky's donation that he made to my 100 subscriber giveaway. Person that won originally is not in position and don't have the time right now to
All right.
take the hive.
So let's do this multiple ways. In the chat box right now, you guys put whether just do under or over for supering. How do you do it? You put the new super under, or you put the new super over the existing supers. Put that in the comments right now. I'm curious to see what you guys do. And then we're going to ask Lee and Brad here what they do. And Ty, we'll ask him how he does it, because last year I was the top super guy, just putting them on top. And this year, both Charlie and Lee said they under super. So I started doing under supering, and I'm just curious what everybody's thought is. So James says under, Daisy's over, Tom is over, Franklin's over. Most people are saying over. And then Houston says both. It just depends. So Lee,
And he's right about that. It depends, because the reason I over super or on the super, it depends if I have drawn comb or empty comb, like new foundation.
okay,
And
Now,
you put that under. You put that under.
well, the few years that I've noticed is that if you don't have a very super strong hive, they don't like crossing over that empty foundation to go finish off that almost fully drawn one that you got above. They'll just bypass it, or they'll use the wax off of it. But if you have drawn comb, they'll fill that sucker right. You can on their super, and they'll fill that sucker right up, and you just keep on pushing them up. But I find they'll take time where if you over super new foundation, because if you ever notice how bees like to just go to the top, where
and hang out, chill out.
yeah, they hang out there. Well, if they hang out on that new foundation, I find they draw it up better. But I've never had good luck of under supering new foundation. Now, if I had some drawn comb and I put it there, yeah, they'll just fill it up and they'll just keep on doing their thing.
What if you checkerboard new foundation and drawn comb in your honey super?
The only thing you have with that, I find sometimes they draw that old foundation out into the new foundation
Oh, okay.
before they even start. I mean, I'm not. I've only been doing it for going on 5 years now, but I've always noticed to where I pull my frames in tight until they start drawing, and then when they
Right.
start drawing, then I pull one out. I might go like a 9 on a 10 box or a 7 on an 8 box. But every time I stick a older honey frame in there with some new foundation, sometimes they'll just make it real fat, and they'll just draw into that other.
And then you get a fat one and a skinny one.
Yeah, usually, but that happens when they're doing it slow, like they got just a trickle of nectar coming in. But if you got a lot of you on a heavy flow, well, then bees are gonna be everywhere, and they're just gonna be building everything out. But it's when you got that slow flow that they'll make fat combs, because they really ain't got a lot coming in, so they just keep on working on the one they got, and they'll just keep filling it.
What I did last year, because it was the first year I was really putting a lot of supers on any of my new ones that was just straight foundation, I had a little mister bottle and I mixed sugar water in it, and I would put just a little mist of sugar water on the new foundation, and they seemed to take to it pretty fast and draw it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just enough to attract
Draws
them
them to
on
it.
I didn't want to just drench it, but just a light mist.
So really, it could go either way.
Oh yeah, it depends on the amount of bees, the amount of flow. I mean,
And then I got
you
bees
can throw.
that I put a box on them, and it's like they just won't come out of the deep, right? So they won't come out of their brood chamber and go to the honey super, which
Yeah.
I don't understand. But they're packed in the bottom; they're just not moving up. And I have nothing to draw them up there, so maybe I need to hit them with some sugar syrup to get them to move up to the top. And that.
I mean, you got heavy flow coming in.
Well, you saw that colony. I mean, that's the one from yesterday. It's only been in that box 2 weeks. That was a 5-frame nuke I put in 2 weeks ago, and they're blowing it up. So
I was about to say, I found it if you putting in a new super too, that's just straight foundation. If I put a queen excluder on, they didn't want to go up through that excluder because it wasn't nothing there for them. So whenever I'd let them up without the excluder, they'd start building on it. Once they were building, I could put that queen excluder in, and they would keep coming up working on it.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been using the excluders. Only a couple of my colonies even have excluders on them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them have free range to put whatever they want wherever they want it. You know.
I started
I did that 1 year, and but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I tried that one time going out without excluders, and they had the super quite a bit of honey in it, but they had a lot of brood in it too. Queen wasn't up there, but it was a lot of larvae and stuff. And all I did was I put the queen excluder on it and let them hatch out. And when it came time to harvest, it was just slap full of honey. So I know there's pros and cons about excluders, but it's just much simpler for me when I go out. I don't have to worry about picking and choosing which ones. I know without the queen, with the queen excluder, I don't have to worry about it. It's just a simplicity thing for me.
Now, Randy, putting a brood frame over the excluder is fine if you're using multiple deep boxes, but if you're using a deep brood box and then you've got a medium honey super, that makes me have to put a deep box back on.
Yeah. You'd either have to be running all deeps or all mediums.
So, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, is getting the medium comb drawn out, because last year I didn't have that many colonies that were able to produce enough honey to draw that much comb out. And now I have those boxes on colonies and combs spread out all over the place. And they're just a lot of empty foundation frames that they're trying to get drawn up, you know.
Larry got a good
Larry,
comment there too.
He's got a good comment there, yes.
You got to raise the heavy supers out of the way to add a new super under it, or you got to move the heavy ones out of the way to check that new one, see if they're doing any work. And it is more work. I just found it works better for me. I mean, some people it may not work for.
And then the worst part about honey season is taking all the honey supers off to check the brood box once a week to make sure they're not going to swarm off on you, at least for me. Okay, so Steve says
I just make sure there's plenty of room. If they're up working honey, and like my main hive, I went into it when I added the second super to it. They already had that top one slap full, so I did go under super on that. And I came at this one. I opened the box up, and they had all but two frames filled out of honey. And I didn't even bother pulling it off. I just threw one right on top of it. I said, I'm not even going to try to look at it, because if they're doing that, they were already honey bound. So I know what they're doing. They're moving that honey up top. And so I give them more room. They sit, at least for me, if I see that they're getting overpacked, I'll throw a super on it. That way it gives them more room to spread out. So that's me. So I don't know.
Maybe I'll do it both ways.
And usually by the time when the honey flow hits, if they hadn't swarmed already, usually they're in honey making mode, so they're not gonna. Most of them don't swarm.
No,
so
you
don't have to worry about that too much.
Randy, I don't have any medium brood boxes. I've only got deep brood boxes. Yep. I lied, guys. I have to admit it. I lied. Bruce's Beast FOMO'd me into making a equipment purchase. So I bought the licensed solar wax melter. I don't know if you guys seen his most recent video.
Yeah, I saw it.
That was some pretty wax, man. So I watched that video and called Better Be and ordered one immediately. So I've got that coming. FedEx. I don't know when it's going to be here, but it's probably this week, I imagine.
That's the licensed stainless steel solar wax melter.
No, I got the cheaper one, $169.95. That's the one he's got that has a plastic body on it and the stainless steel. It's the LYHPW 3247.
Something like this right here.
Let me flip back to StreamYard. Hold up. Yeah, that's the one I got. That's the one I ordered. That's the same one he's got. And it makes pretty little gold bars of wax.
And what did you pay for it?
$169.
$169.
Mm-hmm. I think, and I got 5 boxes at $1.75 to put bottles of honey in, and it came with shipping and everything $201. So, yeah, $169.95.
Wait, what kind of bottles did you get?
Oh no, I bought the box for my bottles that I buy from Gamber container.
Oh, okay.
So if y'all are buying your bottles from Gamber container, you're missing out. Unless you got a better deal than 30 cents a bottle, 33 cents a bottle.
That's just for the bottle or the bottle and the lid?
Just
No, the bottle, you get 321 of these squeeze bottles for $97.
And what size are those?
These are 1 pound that I got.
1
And
pound?
Lee got. Yeah, but they have all different sizes.
yeah, they got 2 pound, 3 pound, whatever. These are the 1 pound.
And you can order different color lids. A case of lids is 1,700 lids. So for a case of bottles and a case of lids was like $300. But I don't have to order lids for 1,700 bottles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now I can just order bottles. And Charlie says he orders all of his bottles use the same lid. So he uses 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, whatever he's got, and they all use the same lid. So
From the same company? From that same company?
Same company, yep.
Gamber container. They're in Pennsylvania, Lancaster.
I need
Yeah,
to
if
get
you
me
order
some,
this,
so I'm gonna
if you order the box of 1,700 lids and then order the 321 bottles itself, you won't have to order lids until you order 5 more shipments of bottles.
Here, I'll drop the link, guys. And they have bears and 1 gallon jars and everything. I'll drop a link for them. Here you go. Yep, that's the link to their site, and they're the cheapest bottles. From what Charlie says, Sawmill Charlie says, all of the bee supply companies are buying their bottles from this company. So basically, you going directly to this company is cutting out the middleman. Now,
okay.
you need to specify. Like the first time I called, they sent me a quote with the shipping, but they only had like 321 bottles and 321 lids, just enough lids to be the same as the bottles. But I wanted a whole case of lids, and that way I could just do the bottles how I want it. You know, I could change up the bottle size if I chose to and use the same lid.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I think we figured out, what was it with the lid and with the bottle? It ended up being like 47 cents or something like that.
I forget what it was.
It's cheap.
Now, I mean, I would suggest asking them what shipping time frames do they have, because basically you get it in 2 days, but I paid $100 and something shipping also. But they shipped it out like Thursday morning, and I had it Friday evening.
Yeah, they ship it quick. When you put the order in, it's getting on a truck.
Yeah. So I mean, they only use UPS. They will not use FedEx or anything else. But you may ask them, do they have something besides overnight or next day or anything like that? Just a slower shipping that may be cheaper.
I don't think I asked them, but mine didn't. Mine took a little bit longer to get here than Lee's did, I think, because Lee's was like bam, bam, there.
Well, look at Lee's. Look at Lee's setup.
I ordered them
got
at
going
the
on.
end of
See
the
what he
day.
is? He's got the money to do it.
I ordered them at the end of the day, like right at close of business Wednesday. So that means they didn't ship out until Thursday morning, and they were at my house Friday.
That's fast.
Yeah, but I think it was like $117 shipping too.
But right now they're probably not
Well,
shipping that much to like the big suppliers, so you could probably get them relatively fast now,
So
and have them.
You paid that much to have it shipped that quick, or is that just normal shipping?
That was the only shipping that I asked. Actually, I just said, get them to me.
Yeah, so it was what? It was like $100 shipping. That brought it to like $300.
Yeah, I think it was 117 for the shipping, but they may have a regular like ground that take 3 to 5 days and might be a cheaper option.
It's probably like $30-$40 for regular shipping. That sounds like that. Yeah, because UPS has the expedited shipping. You know, next day air. Well, they'll fly the stuff down. It don't matter. But $100, $100, a little over $100 for regular UPS shipping seems high. Other than you said you wanted to get them here quick, and they sent that for it. But
Yeah. Like I
most,
said, I mean, it had to be in
um,
Thursday morning going out and here Friday.
yeah, that's Amazon doesn't deliver that fast.
Don't be scared. It comes in a box like this.
Yeah, it does come in a big box. Actually, 2 boxes if you order the.
And inside the box, they're in a plastic bag, big plastic bag, just bulk.
And
Now,
those
is
go
that the only amount? Can you order smaller amounts of it?
No, a case of these bottles comes $3.21. I'm sure if the bigger bottles will probably have a smaller amount, you know. They probably try to use the same boxes.
And you get a big.
And that's how the lids come.
Okay, I didn't know
with
if like
the safety
they
seal
had like
in
a
them.
half a case, like
So,
say 150
seen-
bottles or something like that.
But I was ordering them off of Amazon. I think they were end up costing me like $1 something a bottle. And this has cut my expense down. I had to put more out at front, but I won't have to buy 1 pound bottles for a little while.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was buying my 1 pound bottles. It's the exact same bottles that I was buying from Better Bee. I'm just getting them at a cheaper rate now. And went through 1 box of 321 from Better Bee, and then another box, I think, of 50.
So that bottles that Bob had there, that's the 1 pounders.
Yeah, that's the 1 pound. It kind of looks like a queen lion.
Yeah. So the minimum you could order is like 1 box of 1 pounders and then 1 case of, like, let's say 2 pounders.
Now they've got different box sizes on there that you could choose from. I just decided to go with a 321 count.
Well, I thought that
Okay.
I thought when the bottles, depending on what size you bought and which bottle you got.
That's what I'm about to pull up here.
They've got inverted
I was
bottles.
say I'm not as big. I'm not as big as you guys.
Oh well.
I seen Lee had white lids. You had a yellow lid.
Yeah, you can order whatever color you want.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever color they have, we'll say that. But one thing, you'll go to their website, you won't see the price on the jars. So you have to call them.
But you don't pay online either. You'll have to call on. They'll send you basically an invoice. If you agree to the invoice, you call them back and give them your credit card information, and then they charge you over the phone.
What they send it through by email?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the good thing about this company is that when it says 16-ounce jar, that's by honey weight. That's not by fluid ounces. So if it says 16-ounce jar, it's a 1 pound honey jar, not 16 fluid ounces, which is actually more than 1 pound of honey. So it's allowing you to be more accurate in your. So a case of those 1 pound, it only gives me one size, 321 for that. And they sell glass jars too, so not just plastic. So they've got glass. And it looks like you can buy all the way up to a 48-ounce squeezed bottle.
Yeah, it looks like 8 ounce, 12, 16, 24, 32, 40, or 48.
And now those 48s come in 108. So they probably use the same box, but because the bottle's bigger, you get less, right? So maybe they're about the same price per case.
What would be the equivalent of like a because I was selling mine in pint and quart jars, like a quart jar.
A quart is around about 3 pounds for a quart.
3 pounds.
Yeah, roundabout.
So if
I got a lot of people that come by and they want the quart jars. They don't want the little pints. They want the quarts.
Well, there's 12 pounds of honey in a gallon, right? And there should be four quarts to a gallon. So
yeah, according to online, 1 quart will hold approximate 3 pounds of honey.
So
and then a pint is about 24 ounces, which would be 1.5 pounds.
Now, the reason I say that is because I made the mistake when the first honey I ever pulled off, I was selling for $10 a pint. So I was only, if you a pound and a half for $10. So I was selling what, $7 a pound or something.
Mm-hmm.
My price was way cheap.
Yeah.
I was when I first started. Well, I didn't make no honey the first year, but the second year, I was selling my quarts for $12. Cause
For $12?
yeah, and they would come and get them like flies. Cause
Oh no!
I didn't know any better, and I just had it on Facebook, and I had people texting me, "You need to raise that price, and you're gonna put us out." They thought like I must have had barrels of honey, but I only had like 3 5-gallon buckets, and
Right.
they were like, "You're gonna put us out of business selling that honey that cheap," and I'm like, "Gee whiz!" I'm like, "These are neighbors," because I didn't know what honey really cost.
Right.
Well, if you go online and look at like U.S. national honey price, it's going to show you. I think this year it's around about $3.33 a pound, but that's the national wholesale average.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cheap.
but Lee, you know, these Cajuns that some of them we live around, you tell them you want more than what Walmart is charging, they're like, "You're crazy."
Yep. They just don't realize half of that stuff at Walmart is Chinese sugar water.
Well, not only that, but Walmart, the people that supply, listen, Bob Benny supplies Walmarts too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he probably gets a much better price on these jars than we do because he's buying thousands of them.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and that's not my customer. My customer is the person driving up to my front yard to buy honey, right? So it's a different customer. I mean, I have never had anybody try to lower my price on honey because I just tell them I got a $5, a $10, a $15 jar. Which one do you want?
Mhm.
Oh, well, I'll take the 15. Great. You know, then I've never had anybody say it was too much. Well, drive down the Food Line. It's right up the street, you know, and not a problem.
Yeah.
Not gonna hurt my
I
feelings.
think a lot of I think a lot of people, when they see somebody selling on the roadside, or that know that they're a local beekeeper, they understand the process of buying it local. What it, I don't know if they actually know all the benefits of actually buying it local.
Yeah.
But like me, I like to buy. I don't care if I pay more for it if it's somebody local, a local business. That's just me.
Right. Well, when they drive up to pick up the honey for me, they see my bees flying in the yard. You know, it's hard to dispute that the honey is coming from local bees because I got them right there, you know.
And then, like you say, they see our prices versus walking into Walmart or your local little grocery store. They don't realize the blended honey versus pure honey.
Oh, man, I went into World Market this weekend and they had lavender honey in a 3-ounce jar, a little tiny 3-ounce jar, and they were getting $5 for it, retail.
Marketing.
And I mean Muth jars. They're expensive. I mean, I see a lot of decorative. I saw somebody was doing that. You know, put the jars upside down and let the bees draw comb inside there so they could fill it up for like comb honey in the jar.
Yeah.
And they were using those $6 or $7 a piece jars that look like hexagons. You know, I'm like, what in the world?
I'm thinking about doing a couple of those on the horizontal hive this year because Ricky put the feeder inside where you can drop a wide mouth jar in it. So I'm going to take the lid out, just put the ring on, drop that in there, and let them go in and build the wax out in it.
Now, pint jars? Hey, Dominique, the pint jars, I mean, I still can't beat Walmart's price, you know, 80s. I think I bought a dozen pint jars this last time for $11 or something like that. It was less than $1 a jar. Actually, I think it was on sale for like $11.50 or something. So, you know, country folk like mason jars, I guess so.
Yeah, but I went to Walmart around here. it's been about 3-4 weeks ago. You couldn't find them anywhere. They had half pint jars, but nothing, no quarts, no pints. And
And what
That's
I
because
worked
it's getting close to canning season. And,
yeah,
and they wipe them out.
yeah.
Even looking on Amazon right now, a 12-pack of pint jars is $27.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Amazon
well,
is
I
way
went
higher
to-
on their jars.
Yeah.
I went to Zachary. I work up in Baker. I went up to Zachary Walmart, and I looked online. They just said they didn't have any mason jars. I walked in. It's not a mason. I'm looking at the box right now. Golden Harvest.
yeah, that's what I
No,
bought
it's
last
Golden
time.
Harvest. They don't have the increments, the ounces markings on the side. They're the exact same damn bottle. I mean, I'm sorry, but I paid $8.99 a case. I bought 4 cases. I should have bought the whole rack, but I mean, I haven't seen them since.
I
But
wish I could find them if they had the smooth. The actual writing that says Mason on stuff kind of limits your ability to put labels on there.
Mhm.
So I wish I could find
this
some
is what
smooth ones here. Yeah,
these are the
that's the
Golden
ones I
Harvest.
bought last time. They're
and
labeled
they're
on
smooth
one
all the way
side.
around, but that one side. It's just raised glass on the one side, or all the way around. It's smooth.
And you get a
But it
dozen
doesn't
for
have-
$9 or something.
I got 9. It was 8 something. With tax, you're a little over $9.
Now, sometimes you can find them at
So-
like at Lowe's or Home Depot or Sutherland's Home Hardware, because they have all canning sections.
Mhm.
They're usually by the barbecue stuff and stuff like that, and they'll sell mason jars at this time of the year, and they have a good price on them if you can't find them at Walmart.
Yeah, every now and then you can check Tractor Supply. They'll carry them also.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we
but
have
they're high.
Yeah.
we have a Sutherland's Home Hardware in Alexandria, and they sell bee supplies, and they'll sell pint jars and all that, quart jars.
Well, hey, Mike.
Okay.
You've
Hey,
been
do
sitting
you
there.
up there in Alexandria? Do you have a Steins? I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Do you have a Steins up around there, Pineville?
Yeah, they have a Steins. It's on the Alexandria side, but they do have a Steins.
Okay. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check Steins, because Steins normally has good prices on everything.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I do know I'm buying copper, and I went online to find some 1/2-inch copper unions, sweat-on unions. Steins had them for $6. Home
Yeah,
Depot,
I see.
everywhere else, they're $12, $13, and Steins
Now,
was out, so they don't have any. So
another thing Steins has too, because I've been checking around for pricing on the 1x12 Ponderosa pine to make boxes out of, and they have a lot of cheap wood as far as the boards go. They were cheaper than like
Yeah.
you can't even buy Home Depot or Lowe's 1x12s. They're too expensive. You can buy boxes cheaper online, but at Steins they
it's
have
junk
good
too.
prices. Huh?
It's junk too, junk wood.
Yeah.
But
And-
you're going to pay at Home Depot. The last thing I bought at Home Depot, I bought 4x4s, 12-foot long, $32 a piece at Home Depot.
Yeah, you can't buy no. They went outrageous on their woods. But if you go to more your contracting, like where all your builders go and stuff like that to get their wood in bulk, you can get some good prices on some 1x12s and stuff like that. You can, and the way it goes out of one board, you pay like the price you pay for one super online, you can get 2.5 out of a
1x12.
or might be a 6-foot board, but for the same price.
To 8 foot, normally 8 foot will build you one box.
Yeah, well, I think one time I bought 12s and I got like a box and a half, and then you buy the 16 foot and you get 2.5 boxes or something like that. And
The only
it's
the only thing with a longer board, you get more cup and you get more cap in it.
yeah. The
Well, that depends upon how it's cut and how it's dried too.
yeah, But
Right,
from the
and
boxes,
that's the difference between.
I don't
I
like
bought-
that. If they're cutting them so they cup like that, and yeah, no, that's a bad draw in the log.
well, I used to make my own
Oh, yeah.
boxes, and then I started buying boxes, and now I'm going back to making my boxes because I bought boxes from Texas Bee Supply, and they must have had used warp boards because I had to put them in vices to draw them in and nail them and glue them overnight. And then I got some from Honeybee something, or no, Sweet Mountain Bee or something like that. And theirs fit tight, but their grooves on the boxes were cut more than 3/4 of an inch. So when you put your boxes together, you had your
Slop.
notches that stuck out a little bit. Well, what that did, it shortened the length of the box. And when you put your frames in, your frames were too tight. So either you had to leave a gap on the box, or if you nailed them together, your frames were too tight to put them in.
I noticed that with some boxes that I made when I was using that 9-frame spacer, that some of my boxes, it would fit perfect, and some of them I couldn't get the spacer in there straight to sit down, even when the frames were lined up right because the sides were too tight on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, if they cut their I don't know, I forgot what you call that notch that they cut in the boxes, but if they cut it more than 3/4 of an inch, the thickness of the wood, then it sets in, and it actually shortens your box lengthways, and your frame just tight.
You're talking about the finger joint.
Yeah, the finger joints. There you go.
The finger joint.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What I'll do
so-
with the boxes that I build, I just use a rabbit joint.
That's
I
what
don't
I
put
do.
finger joints in it. Then I nail it on both sides.
Yeah, that's what I do, and I don't have no problems because you can control that, but you can't control what you get in the mail.
Right.
No.
All
But
of my
it's-
boxes
it-
I've been
it-
ordering from Better Be already assembled.
But they don't
Come
glue
on.
them.
Yeah,
Most
well,
of those companies don't glue them when they assemble.
Better Be does though. That's one thing I like about them. Everything is glued and nailed.
How much are their boxes up there? Not counting the high dollar ass shipping that they're going to charge you.
You talking about for a deep box or a medium?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Man, that's those rich people that get them boxes already assembled.
Right. Well, I buy. See,
That's him over there.
Blythewood Bee Company charges $2 per box to have them already assembled. They'll assemble them for you, but they don't glue. They don't glue them.
Oh, yeah, I
They'll
like to
nail
glue
them.
my boxes.
Now with Better
I
Be,
glue
I mean,
everything.
I
glue
order the
frames
box
and everything.
with Better Be. I order my frames and the box together, all of it. And for a deep with 10 frames that are wood frames and the black plastic with heavy wax, it's $67.
I walked into a deal the other day at Sutherland's. Someone on YouTube had left me a message and told me, someone from Louisiana, Sutherland's had the Honey Supers for 8-frame box with the frames and the box painted, $30.
What?
Yep,
You bought everything they had, right?
I bought them.
I'd have went in there and cleaned their ass out. They'd have been empty.
Lee,
Yeah.
how much would the Better Be Honey Supers?
For the Honey Super with frames, wood and heavy wax is $62.45.
Okay.
But they've went up. They were like 52 before.
And that's before shipping with Better Be.
Yeah, it's before shipping. But
Now-
normally, whenever I order, I have from Better Be, I order the bottom board, a deep, queen excluder, 2 mediums, migratory cover, everything all at once, and then I just multiply that by however many I want to buy at that time.
Now, when I was talking to John at Hillco, he said that he didn't buy from Florida, South Florida Bee Supply because they used the Southern Yellow Pine. And so his hive bodies are supposedly a different kind of wood, but his unassembled hive bodies are $22.59. And if you order over $100, they get free shipping. So, and
That's pretty good.
their medium supers are 19 unassembled now.
Yeah.
1939 for 10 frame mediums.
That's pretty good.
Pretty much the average price, like from Man Lake and stuff like that.
Yeah,
wonder
So-
roughly $30 for a box.
And Blythewood Bee Company, let me see, which is where I typically get my boxes from. Now
No.
they're this Southern Pine 10 frame assembled. They've got on their website for $19.50.
Better be 10 frame unassembled is $19.85. Assembled is $24.10.
So
But they charge shipping too, though, don't they?
they
Correct.
Blythewood Bee charges for shipping too. Eight frame unassembled is $17.50 for a 8 frame deep.
I know I'd probably say the last year and a half, just the stuff I've ordered from Better Bee, I guarantee I've paid $2,000 just in shipping.
Yeah, I had that conversation the other day with them.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you do pay for the shipping with them.
And Blythewood has deep unassembled for $17.50. 10 frame. So, but you're gonna have to pay shipping on it. So that's the drawback. Mike, how's Minnesota beekeeping this time of year?
What bees? No, seriously. My hives were out flying for the second day straight, or second day all day, and that's been for the entire spring. So,
Well, at least they didn't get washed away in a flood like Ian's did.
yeah, I was going to give him some shit about not giving his bees water wings.
I know, right?
Yeah. Dollar board foot from the local. Yeah, the Three Boys Bees has been messing around making a lot of their own stuff. So as far as Minnesota beekeeping here, I'm making some ghost pepper and habanero infused honey.
Now, did you do the
that sounds
did
good.
the non-heated method?
No, and I absolutely refuse to heat any of my honey. I try not to get my honey ever over 90 degrees. For this, I did, and so I'm holding it at about 115 degrees, and just stirring up the stuff. And I'm not certain, but this stuff might be lethal.
What then you strain? You're just going to run it through a strainer and strain all the pepper pieces out of it, or
They float to the surface, so I'll just
Okay.
skim them off. But
I gotcha.
I need to get a bunch of that and run it through my still.
oh,
Habanero honey moonshine.
I was about to say instead of Fireball, you have Fire Mead.
does the capsaicin?
I doubt it.
Still?
I could. What I want to do, I would like to get some of that. I'm building another still out of a keg, and I'm using glass jar thumpers.
Okay.
And I'd like to put something like that in those thumpers after I get all the bad stuff out, and see what kind of transfers over on that.
That would be really
You put it in
interesting.
after. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. It sounds really good.
Well, it's
I might have to get your address.
Well,
I've seen where people use dried peppers, like dehydrated peppers,
yeah.
and put it in there, and then let the moisture from the honey hydrate the pepper and draw the capsaicin out. But I don't know.
Honestly, I'd rather do it that way, Bob. I really would, but time is short. I have I was able to find both ghost peppers and habaneros at a local store, and that's pretty rare. And they're fresh. And I have a craft show that I'm selling this stuff at on Saturday. So
okay.
I didn't have the time to do that, but
so next batch you got to source some Carolina Reaper peppers.
I've never had them. I know that the ghost peppers actually have a distinct pepper flavor to them. That's why I went with those.
Well, the Carolina Reaper, from what I understand, is just straight heat. I mean, it's just
Yeah. I forget what the ghost pepper is. The Indian Army actually weaponized ghost peppers for the military tear gas, and I think the Carolina is like somewhere between. Ty, help me out here. 20 and 30% hotter. I could look that up capsaicin wise. I think Leah's probably doing that.
I think the ghost pepper is hotter than the Reaper. There's a newer one out that I've heard that's just over the ghost, and I didn't know that there was anything hotter than the ghost. But
is that the boot Jalokia, or is that the same thing as the other one?
That's ghost pepper. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what do they call that? What the Scoville units? That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
So the Scoville units, 2-point Carolina Reaper is officially the world's hottest pepper, as ranked by Guinness Book of World Records. 2.2 million SHU.
Okay, and the ghost pepper is what? 1.2?
Let me see. We'll do the old Googling.
Otherwise, you guys are talking high boxes back and forth here, and we finally took our wood out of the kiln today to build 50 supers. And that's going to be really neat, having that much control over it. And my mill guy is, he's a 50-year woodworker and contractor, so I'm lucky there.
So ghost pepper is 1.04 million.
Oh, okay.
So about half.
Yeah, there you go.
Half of what the Reaper is.
But I put the habanero in there just because I could say that I had both in there, and it might add a different flavor to it too. So that's why I combined the two. But I don't know. We'll see what happens there. It's ridiculously easy to do, but the trick is to really control the temperature. And I'm in there with a potato masher, just pushing stuff down. Literally a potato masher, just putting stuff down and moving it around as it goes to the surface. So be interested to see that. I think the only people that actually use really hot pepper honey on a regular basis is in Thailand, and they use it for glazing grilled chicken. I'm sure there's other people that do that out there.
I think it'd be awesome.
That sounds really good.
Sauce.
Yeah. The funny thing is it safe for human consumption? So
Larimore says the 200 times hotter than the Carolina Reaper. Which one is that?
Yeah. I wonder which one he's talking about. Hey, three boys. Yeah, we have a kiln, and I'm going to be putting a video of pulling that out. If you look at my other videos, you see the kiln that is in there. It's basically a cargo container that we've got a hot water boiler running through and a dehumidifier and fans, so we can. Well, you know how big that is. I was backwards. Larimore wrote.
Hey, Mike, I have to give you a shout out because Castle Grounds Apiary said that you've had great growth this last month on your YouTube channel in the month of April.
Yeah, I think it has what, like 52%?
Yeah, 52% increased subs.
Just a little bit over me. I think I had like 48 point something on mine.
I haven't been putting up any videos. I don't know where this is coming from.
From our subscribers, the people that watch the show.
Actually, Bob Lee, you're both right. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
That's all right, Mike. We'll send you a little bill for it.
I think that you're important. I'm like,
Well, hey, and that's what I was going to say, that if you see people in here you're not subscribed to, please show them some support and subscribe to them. Even if they're in the comments, everybody try to boost these channels up and help them out.
Beekeeper, all right, yes. You up for adopting anyone, Mike?
Hey, might give you a tax break if they're under 18.
Oh my gosh. No, I already do a feline rescue and I've got enough grandchildren. So thank you very much though for the thought.
Hey, speaking on that YouTube, I just flipped up just before I came on here. that video I have, Lee, that of capturing the queen and releasing her, marking her. I just over 580 some views
Wonderful.
just in a matter of that's the most views I've had ever in anything ever I've done. I was like blown away. I said, man, who did this? Lee probably hitting the button 3 or 4 times, kept hitting it, by accident.
From each one of our devices.
And that was 10 days ago, and you got 591 views on it already.
So, how are you capturing the queen?
I've got, I'm going to have to subscribe to you, Mike, but I've got one of those little queen cages that's you roll back the top of it.
Yeah,
and you put it over top of her.
Yeah.
Oh man, that made it. I had to play with her, catch her just right in the ribs to where her abdomen came out, and just make sure the paint was fluid. And I just tapped her. Yeah, Lee's got it up there soon.
Yeah, those things are.
I didn't film me because I'm not a video tech guru like Lee is. I didn't film me marking her, but after the fact, I do. There's a shot where you can see that I marked the queen.
Just don't do like Bob and decapitate her.
Oh, goodness.
That's the one-hand queen decapitator is what it is.
Say, I got to ask you guys, do any of you handle any of the queens by yourself with your hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
My lad's queen that I marked, I caught my hand and marked her.
Yeah, because I'm finally going to follow Bob Binney's advice and start. Actually, I think it was the Gulf University. Anyways, it said practice picking up the drones.
Yep.
So is that what you did, Lee?
Nah, to be honest, I picked up one drone, tried that, and I went straight to the queens.
Fantastic.
That's because he's got deep pockets that can replace them queens.
No, I just got 8 miles up the road.
Oh,
yeah, what is O'Neill's? O'Neill's 5 miles up the road from you?
I think it's 5.8.
Yeah.
Lee is just good at everything he does.
I got to drive that far to get to Walmart. But I was surprised because this month, and for some reason, this video that he did for the month of April recap was really short. It was like 7 or 8 minute video.
Yeah, just it is.
But he said that my channel put out the most beekeeping videos for the month of April of any beekeeping channel. You and the Bee Whisperer have been cranking them out. Well, now that I've discovered the live, we put them out there. It's beekeeping season. If you're going to do beekeeping videos, when are you going to do them? Now. You got to do them now, right? Otherwise, you're showing people, this is how I melt my wax. And, and hours later, your wax is melting.
This is how wax dries.
Hey, those are some good videos.
Hey, Bruce's Bees FOMO'd me into buying that wax melter, so
I'm going to bring that video here.
Well, I will give you I will give you all a heads up. I will, when I get those bees this weekend, I'm going to set up my white Ring camera put my cell phone on, and I'm gonna video that. So that'll be of me.
Need me to come by and hold the camera
in the box?
Yeah.
Yes. Actually,
I'll come by and hold the camera.
No, good for you. I see we've got a bunch of people chiming in here that they pick them up. Houston, Tex, and so on. Hey, you guys are great. My problem is that, I'm not as coordinated. Well, thank you, Sarah's Happy Hives. That's wonderful. I really appreciate that. I have a video that I've been playing around with because decapitated queen. What are you, French? I've done it, and I've watched them fly off. There's a video that I've been screwing around with of the most unusual thing where I caught a swarm moved into a hive box next to another hive, and they abandoned the hive box that they moved in and literally marched across the decking and got in the other one. And I have no idea what that was about.
Well,
it might have been a queenless thing. I have no clue.
That's your first swarm catch of the season.
That's the first swarm I've ever caught. I'm in Minnesota. I live on a peninsula. You know, if things swarm, they they go up in a tree, and God knows where they go from. Well, actually, I did find one swarm that moved into a hollow pine tree 300 yards to the west of me, but no, I have actually only seen 2 swarms up here in the 20 years I've lived here. So I'm just and I can't remember who it is that's getting just he's on like his 24th swarm. Help me out.
Rodney Middleton is?
Yes.
He's in the upstate of South Carolina too. He's near me, but he's like right on the North Carolina South Carolina border, so he kind of goes in between them. But some of his swarms I've seen were out of his own yard. I don't really count them if they're your own.
Yeah,
swarms.
well, that's true.
I mean, because if they're your own swarms, it's like, why are your own hives swarming?
Yeah, yes. Texas beekeeper. That is me.
Say, I've got a question here about mead.
Yes, sir.
What do you use for yeast? What's your preferred yeast for or all-purpose yeast for fermenting honey?
The Red Star.
Really?
The basic one. Yeah, that's. I got some right here.
No, I've got it in my freezer. But I thought that there was
the Premier.
Yeah.
Now do you?
And then they had a specific mix.
That's like the champagne yeast.
Yeah, this one here is the champagne yeast. It's for a higher alcohol content.
Is that the
it'll
118?
No, this is Red Star. That's
Red Star
LC.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I've used that too.
I have no problems with it. With the mead, I just use a regular. I have used the champagne for corn. I tried it with the corn. Let's see. I think I had some grape wine and stuff. I ran it with the champagne to try to get a higher alcohol content running through the still. So, but other than that, yeah.
Now, have you ever
just the Red Star? But for
have you ever screwed around with Levin 118?
No, but I've been hearing about that. A lot of guys will use that. When, do it. I'll get some.
If you want to, if you don't mind going dry, and I think it's got a bit less sulfur when it's all done. But I mean, I've got it up around 20%. That stuff is insane.
Well, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I do daddies for the corn. I use daddies yeast.
Oh, to run. Okay. Oh, your mash. Okay.
Yeah. To run the mash. That's for the mash. That's because it's different. It's going to be. That's a way higher. You're trying to get 10 to 12% APV before you run it. So
before you
you're trying to get big time. Yeah.
Hey, Ty, I think you just gained about 5 or 6 subs in the past 20 seconds.
Yeah, including myself.
I'm on my cell phone, so I'm very tech unsuave. I mean, I know enough to get myself into trouble.
I'm monitoring the chat, plus I'm checking another screen.
Thanks, DP. You have a good night.
I've seen a couple people, and I hate it when you try to respond to them. I like I say, I can go to the chats and I lose the screen, and I don't know all this stuff that's going on. So,
speaking of,
I appreciate everybody following.
Speaking of other screens, Mike, real quick, I'm going to pull up a video. You was talking about marking the queens by hand. Pull up about a 10-second clip for you.
Oh, do it.
This is when I marked my last queen here.
Thank you.
All right, I don't know how good you can see here. I'm going to try to hold her very carefully, not squeeze her. There'll be the yellow mark here on her.
Damn, Van Gogh.
Wait.
You see that? I ain't got none on greens or anywhere else.
Say that again.
Did you sign your work?
Maybe on the next one.
That's pretty doggone good. Keep going.
When I go to set her back in the
You're supposed to
frame
sign on
zone,
the
I'll put my hand
eyeballs.
above her. That way she don't fly up. Okay, she crawled right down into the frame, so that's good.
Yeah, anytime I mark them when I go to put them back in so that they don't try to fly off, I put my hand over the
You
top
tap
of them
them.
when I release. That way, either they're going to hit my hand or they're going to go straight down between
That's
the
a
frames.
grand idea. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that before, but I don't get out much. No, that's a fantastic idea. I don't think I've seen anybody do that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Three Boys was asking there, do you malt or sprout your corn, Ty?
My corn, I buy cracked corn from Tractor Supply, and I bought a mill. I've milled a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
I've taken a break right now. I'm in the process of building another one. I kind of limiting my vocabulary here, because I know recently here some people have had the cops come to them and taking their stills. So I'm going to try to limit that down as much as possible. Not that
absolutely.
Lee knows where I live. Lee knows where I live. So
Yeah, I'm not going to mention I'm not going to mention the comment I sent Ty when he first sent me a picture of that steel.
Hey, let me let you in on a little. I'll tell you it's a not so funny story, but the government knows where you live because
they know everything. They're monitoring this. What don't they can't lie.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, no, I'm gonna tell you, my son, he was probably, I don't know, 14 or 15 years old, was in his bedroom on his computer. And he was on the USArmy.com website, right? And they have this little virtual assistant called Sergeant Star or something like that, right? And you can ask him questions about joining the military and whatnot. Well, he started being a teenager, and he was just saying random stuff, and they started giving him strikes on the website. And so he said, basically, F you, I'll blow up the White House,
Oh, no.
Hey, we just got demonetized there for that.
Oh, on a military recruiting website? Oh,
yeah, well, he thought it was just an automated responder. So let me tell you what happened. I was divorced.
Black
so my
vehicles
son
rolled up to his house.
No, listen, my son, I was divorced, so my son would come every other weekend, right? And so he had come on. I went out of town on a business trip with I was working with nuclear radiation, with radiation, right?
Oh, this gets better. And better.
Oh yeah, it gets great. So I happened to be flying. My connecting flight back from Ohio was through Reagan Airport in Washington, D.C.
Even better.
And when I get back to the house on Friday, I'm get home from work. I'm changing clothes, and there's a knock at the door. My daughter says, "Daddy, some guys from the church are here." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, I went to the front. Well, the guys from the church ended up being 2 Secret Service agents and the local sheriff's deputies that came to the house. They're like, "Can we talk to you for a second?" And I said, "Sure, you can talk to me." And I was on my little front porch, right? And they're like, "I think we need to come inside and speak to you." So, long story short, is they end up saying, "Do you know what the process is for this?" When that happened, they have to have the Secret Service and White House contacts White House security. White House security has to do a full sweep and lock down the White House to make sure there's no bombs. They had to go and get a subpoena for the IP address to find out where it came from and who owned it. They asked me how many devices I had that connected to the internet. And all these questions, I said, "I don't know what you're talking about, but my nephew and my son might, because they were here. And so I called my nephew. I said, you need to get your ass home from work right now. I made him leave his job to drive home.
Oh yeah.
And he came home and we sat him at the table and I introduced him to the Secret Service and they questioned him. And then I called my ex-wife and they said, don't tell her why we need her to bring him over here. Well, it's my ex-wife. It's not like we're on cordial terms all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, hey, you need to bring Jonathan here and you need to get him here now. Well, I'm not bringing him over to you. Tell me why. I'll just say 2 words. Secret Service. Okay, we're on our way. You know?
Wow.
So anyway, they can find you. If they see something they want, they'll find you with a quickness. And
if you all don't know, I'm originally from Maryland, and Fort Meade in Annapolis, Maryland, is where has been since telephones, before we even knew computers existed. There's a computer bank underground that every single phone call, anything, is recorded. And they've got certain keywords like bomb, president, any of those type words that come close together, it automatically throws a red flag. They already know. They go right there. They know they can see the conversations, that who they were talking to, what numbers, where they were. They know everything before they do any of that. They'll do
Right.
That's that full scale investigation. They won't lock down. They said that to scare you, but they will put everybody on. The Secret Service goes on high alert, and then they go do what they do is they call the local Secret Service and the FBI, and you'll see, if you ever see black SUVs, Suburbans with dark tinted windows driving around your neighborhood, that's what's going on. But every phone call, those little throwaway phones, they know. They can't trace it, but they know that phone call's been made, and they can kind of get close to where it is, because unless you dump it in a trash can, blow it up, burn it, or whatever. But that's been going on since all of us have been alive.
Well,
I think
it's
our
crazy.
viewer count just went up by a couple numbers. So I think they're watching us right now.
right. Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
hey.
They told me they went to my job, and because I went in the middle of the night, they didn't know when I went to work, right? So I got home early.
Yeah.
They actually came to work to arrest me and bring me down for questioning, and I didn't have nothing to do with any of it, right? Other than paying the internet bill, and
They'll get you for that.
Then they showed up at the house, and I was like, okay, we can talk about it. And they're asking me, do you have any weapons in the house? And I'm like, well, yeah, I do have weapons in the house, but what's this about? And that's when we got to everything,
Okay.
It was just one of those things. It was like,
Say, I have to bring something up to you guys, change the subject here, but also to back it up to something you were talking about earlier. The National Honey Show in Britain did there was a talk by Debbie Delaney. It's called Honey Marketing. And she goes down to price points per types of jars that people like, how much more they're willing to pay, if it's marked local. I mean, it's a demographic freak show. And honestly, if anybody's going to be selling honey, to me, it's a must watch. It's about 46 minutes long, but you would not believe some of the stuff that she discusses as far as what people are willing to pay and so on. And I think the demographics are actually in the United States. So I just wanted to bring that up to you guys there.
yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's really pretty good.
Well, if they'll watch us for 5 hours, I'm sure they can bear 47 minutes of anybody else's stuff.
Well, as long as Charlie isn't talking.
This is the first time we've had Charlie on. He's been quiet. What's up, Charlie?
Oh, not much. Not much.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out. Am I feeding back? No, okay, good.
No, you're good.
I went to a boring bee meeting tonight, but other than that,
And then you came home to another boring bee meeting.
No, this is better than what that was. That's for sure. All that was a major advertisement for some guys. What do you call it? Cell phone app for taking care of your bees or something or other.
How many people were there?
There probably was 20 some people there.
So
Live.
we got more people. Oh, live. So they were dialed in through Zoom or something too.
Well, yeah, the guy there was a Zoom thing. If I'd have known what it was, I'd have never went. Just
Yeah. DC, I saw his video. It was like 7 minutes. So that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier, where everybody that's watching this channel was pretty much mentioned. I didn't see. You might need to contact him to see if you're on the list there, Charlie.
What's that? The guy with the list?
Yeah,
Castle Grounds.
Yeah,
Castle
I messaged him yesterday. He put me on.
So he'll start tracking you from here on out. Yeah, everybody's doing pretty good. I mean, everybody. Hillbilly Beekeeping. Cajun was on the list. Mike was on the list. Lee was on the list. I was on the list. Now we're smaller channels, so you got to take it into perspective, right? Yeah. So it's when someone like you got 50, for example, I had 8% growth, but I had 8% of 1,700, where a smaller channel may have 50% growth, but that's 50% of 50 might be 25 people, but that's huge growth, right? So it's pretty neat to look. He usually does it on the last day or the first day of the new month, but this one was a little bit after. So
and what's the name of that site?
Castle Grounds Apiary. But Time is Honey's on there.
I just dropped his link in the chat.
Yeah, so give him a follow. He's a smaller channel as well. So I haven't seen him over on here. Matter of fact, leave him a comment saying you heard about him over here. Maybe he'll start coming in too. So,
but my question is I mean, I watched that video and he went through all them different things, and I guess what I'm saying is, how do you take it to, what do you do with it, information wise? I mean.
Well, it's just really it's good to know information for me. I mean, it's not really changing anything. It's not like driving more subs to my channel because he doesn't have that many subs.
I guess it gives you incentive if he's actually calling your name out saying, hey, you done this many videos this month, you've gained this many more subscribers, and you want them, I guess, the notoriety or to be able to say, hey, I made the list again. You're going to try produce more videos.
Well, that's what I did. I asked him, I said, what's your criteria? And he said, I don't really have a criteria. I asked him, I'd like to be on the list. So he said, okay, I'll put you on the list.
Nice.
But I mean, it's like you say, you get people like Cayman Reynolds and Stepler and all them. They got 100,000 views or, maybe 50,000 subs.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah, well put, Tex.
Well, I had the funny thing was I was watching Black Mountain Honey's video, a question and answer live that he had last month, and he actually mentioned me when he saw me in his chat. He said, "Oh, you're trying to put out more beekeeping content than I am," because I was like right underneath him for the most beekeeping videos put out, and I wasn't trying to like outdo anybody, but it just let me know that that's where I was, So
no, I've everybody that I glance at, you and Peter the Bee Whisperer have been cranking videos out, and that's pretty neat. That's kind of fun.
Well, I ended up being top on the amount put out this month, but
okay, there we go.
What I do is actually different, right? So I'm just journaling my stuff. Where
he's forgot about the concrete beehives.
And Castle Grounds or Black Mountain Honey's doing more of how-to videos and stuff like that. So his just different. I mean, but the fact that he mentioned me and made notice of me on his channel, and he's got more subs than me, then maybe some of those subs filtered over.
So, yeah, how's the peppermint thing going for you guys?
It's going good for me.
Doing good on mine so far. When I dropped the 8 new nukes in this weekend, I did forget to bring my peppermints with me though, so I'll have to go back this coming weekend.
Now, Charlie, have you been trying this?
No, so I don't have any hive beetles.
Oh, you don't either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I know that I seen Randy, the Dirt Rooster.
He's doing it.
He's doing it. And he had a hive there that he might have had 5 or 6 beetles in it, and he put some more candies in it and stuff.
But he doesn't. I mean, watching Randy's video, he just kind of chucks them in there, right? He doesn't. He doesn't really put them on the corners and stuff like
that. Might have I would think having them on the periphery. That could be really interesting because normally the beetles go to the edge corners. It's going to be fun to see if more people do that. So there's something I want to bring up to you guys because I can't remember who it was putting a. I think it was JCB's, and a couple other people were putting packages in. Just showing, this is how you do it, one thing or another. And a couple years ago, I saw somebody do a powdered sugar dusting, a heavy powdered sugar dusting of a package of bees, and then suspended over a cardboard box with the white paper on the inside. And the amount of mites that those doggone bees groomed off was just shocking. So I've been trying to talk people, anybody that's willing to do it. You almost need to have a flower duster to get it good and fine. But I'd love to see a couple more people do that. And I thought would probably be useful too, is when you do that, is to rotate the box over to the other side too and give it a second dusting. But if you think about it, if some people are buying packages, which by the way, Charlie, that's the only way I've ever gotten hive beetles is from packages, and then they're gone by spring. But I'd like to see people do that if they could do a preliminary mite, non-chemical mite thing just by the bees grooming those off. I'd like to see a bunch of people just give that a shot. Because the one video I saw do that, and I'm not talking about using powdered sugar in your regular hive, just the packages. So I just wanted to let everybody and all your viewers know that too. I'd be very interested in seeing somebody do that. So that's my my little plea there to America.
Well, I might try that this after the honey flow because I've got.
I lost you.
I said I might try that after the honey flow because I've got. I saw some mites on bees in one of my colonies today, and I would normally blast them, but I can't blast them right this time of year because they're collecting nectar and honey.
Yeah. So, and there was some confusion. One person I brought up, and they said, "Well, why I don't do a powdered sugar test? It's not a test. It's
right.
Trying to eliminate the mites, be preemptive." So that was interesting, because you never know what to take care of those bees. Yeah, that's true. You never know what you get in your packages.
Or nukes for that matter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unless you know your supplier. So some of us are very lucky to have that. So, and now I'm losing my voice.
If you buy local, if you buy local bees, like bees I'm getting this weekend, and bees that Lee's got, the apiary is 5 minutes up his road, so they probably got some of his bees.
Oh, I love that.
That has a lot to do with it.
Now, out of the 8 nukes that I got Sunday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I only seen 2 hive beetles out of 8 nukes.
Wow.
And everybody's talking about the peppermints. I'm going to drop a little link in here for Amazon. They got 4 pounds of peppermints for $20.
Don't do that. That's just one of my favorite candies, regardless of beetles.
Click that link.
Click the link. That's an affiliate link.
Yeah,
I had
that's a
that
big old
coming.
bag too.
Yeah.
Plenty for you and the bees.
The
Oh man.
so
That's,
other than that,
that's
anybody
not
got
gonna
anything
get fun.
interesting coming up on with their bees or what?
Don't
Well,
everybody
don't-
talk at one time?
That's
The
what I
only
was
thing
about
I
to
got
say.
coming
Don't
up
everybody-
is everybody at one time. I got, like I just said, mentioned earlier, but I don't know if anybody else is in here. I'm getting that package at Newt this weekend. I'm gonna maybe I can convince Lee to come over, maybe give him some moonshine or something. He come over and film me and edit
Yeah,
it for
you know
me.
something. If you
I
could
don't
get
do
Lee
any
to
of that.
film it, well, I don't think he's got any free hours to even use toilet paper, but that would be wonderful. I'd love to have somebody with that kind of talent film anything I do. Tying my shoes.
I'll come by. Heck, Ty probably ain't, what, 25, 30 minutes from me, maybe?
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, something. It ain't that far.
Hmm.
25, 20 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as being busy, Ty knows how
Straight up the
busy
interstate.
I usually am with work.
What do we have here?
Here's a link. Here's a link for the Snickers you're looking at. There you go. That's the Snickers link for Texas beekeeping.
Oh man.
So if you don't know about Amazon affiliate links, basically it doesn't cost you anything extra, but if you use the link and order it, then whoever's affiliate is gets a, like, what is it, less than 10% cut.
Depending on what the item is, where it's from, the max I believe is 10%, but some of them might be only 1 or 2%.
But the catch is that to keep the affiliate link, you have to make at least like 2 sales within what 180 days or something.
180 days, or they close the affiliate account, and then you got to reapply again.
Yeah. So
I got a question for 3 boys here. I thought you just started that, and if I'm reading this right, hoping my first grafts. You're grafting already? How long have you had bees? I hope they work good too. Good for you.
I keep saying I'm gonna start grafting. I'm gonna start grafting, and then every time I order something, I forget to order the grafting supplies. Even when they ask me, "Is there anything else we can get you?" Nope, just what I got, and I always forget to order it. Maybe I need to use my own Amazon link and order some grafting stuff.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Say, Larry Moore's got a great question here about just my 2 cents on that, Larry Moore, is that whatever you do, don't stop feeding them. I like the way Bob Binney put it. He said, a gorged bee they so much more readily accept new swarms, new queens, or whatever. So you can trickle feed them, like even poke a couple holes in a bottle cap, but just keep feeding them while they're doing those swarm cells. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Let me see.
Yeah, it'll take them about 30 days for them to start laying.
Yeah.
All right, I'll check that out.
I'm looking at using trying the Premier mechanical.
Is that the one? That's the one Dirt Rooster was showing on his channel the other day.
What do you think of that?
It's pretty unique looking. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you.
I used Chinese grafting tools. They're just as I don't know. It's like Kent Williams, who taught me. You know, he went out and he bought that Premier, and that's $50-$60 for that thing, and or more. And he found that 50-cent Chinese grafting tool from Amazon works just as well.
I'll have to check that
Well,
out.
it kind of depends on what you get used to.
Hey Lee, what time you got to run tonight, brother?
I'd say about 9:30, 9:45.
All right, I just don't want to run you over. But
Yeah, I'm fixing to leave too. I gotta go take a shower and get up. Some of us have to get up early in the morning, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, to go to work.
work, what is that?
4 o'clock.
Yeah, my boss just called me. I got to go to Gloucester, Mississippi to look at a job. So
What do you
I
do,
gotta-
Ty?
So in the same kind of work that I'm a piping supervisor, industrial construction.
Yeah, but Bob, just get yourself an easel or make one for your grafted frame, and get yourself some Chinese grafting tools off of Amazon.
Okay.
And if you have eyesight issues, I mean, I wear a pair of magnifications along with these glasses here, which are sort of like
Yeah, Lee's got one of those
man.
great apparatuses with the side lights on it.
What's that, Mike?
Lee has some one of those great thing. Are you bringing it up?
He's going. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
going to
I
get
love that. Thank you.
I got something similar to that. Now, the light on mine, I wouldn't give you 5 cents for, but get yourself a little $3 light out of your local drugstore, which is LED, so you can shine it right down that hole.
That
Yeah.
one comes with
Yeah, there you go. I got the same kind of setup. Yeah.
five
no
different
kidding, I
lenses.
like that.
Has 5 different lenses for different magnifications that you could pop into them.
I find the 1.5 works for me.
So I don't have the best eyes either. So, and I can't remember who did this, but somebody did a video out there, and what they would do is they actually bring a little pencil LED with. So when you're checking for eggs, you can shine that thing down in there. If you got bright daylight, bad shadows, there you go. Thank you, Lee. So that's in my kit now.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. I mean, the light on his helmet is okay, but that flashlight right there that he had, that's what you want. You want that and your Chinese grafting tool on the one side, and you scoop it right up.
Yeah.
Three Boys said there's a Russian that grafts with a blade of grass.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the video I just put out for Hardeman's down there. They don't use any of that stuff. They actually take a copper piece of wire. It's about, I guess, about 1/8 of an inch in diameter, pretty heavy. And they sit there and take a hammer and peen the end on it, make a little scoop or whatever. Something that
I've seen that. Yeah.
something that they like for themselves. Now you got to remember. Now they're not Chinese grafting tool lifts the jelly up with the egg on top, whereas what they're doing is they're actually picking the egg up itself, and they're priming their cups and laying it in on jelly.
Okay.
And that's, I think, how that Pierce grafting tool is. It's designed to pick the larvae itself up, and then you need to prime your cups with that. Where the Chinese, you don't have to do that.
Charlie, are you talking about that video that you put out where she primed the cups with that?
Mm-hmm. What they do is down there is they take and they'll break open a bunch of queen cells and scoop out the jelly where where the larvae's laying in. They'll sacrifice, let's say 3 or 4 of those cells and scoop the jelly out. Now they had that little cup there. They put the jelly in there, and they put a little bit of water in there, and then they sit there and mix it up and make a real, liquefied jelly. And then and one year they had like it was a piece of wood, like a dowel rod, where they made a point on it with not a sharp point, but like a little rounded point on the end. And they would dip it in, and then when she hits the bottom of that JZBZ cup, it leaves a droplet of that jelly in there.
Okay.
And then they go in there with that grafting tool, and all they're doing is hooking that larvae up, and then putting it in the cup that's got that jelly in it, and of course it floats off the end of that tool. The thing about that tool is what you have to learn, and people talk about this, if you flip that larvae over it won't take. It'll dry.
Oh yeah.
So that's where the Jay-Z, I think, for somebody like us that doesn't do it on a daily basis, we scoop up the jelly with the larvae on there, and we never touch the larvae. It's we're transferring jelly that happens to have a larvae floating on it. So there's no danger of us messing up the larvae in most cases.
Yeah, I thought what she had in that cup was I've seen where some guys they can actually buy some type of raw jelly.
Yeah, you can buy it. Yeah.
But they actually
they actually take their own royal jelly from their own queen cell cups and break them open and scoop that stuff out of there, and then they'll sit there and mix it up with just a few drops of water and make it thin, and then she'll drop. And each one of them will have a drop of that jelly in that cup.
Hey, Jerome Bee Farm, we do this every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 Central.
Jerome's in here?
Yeah, he just commented.
Yeah, he just popped
I
in there.
was looking at one of my other screens, didn't see it. I watch all his videos.
All right, fellas, look, I'm gonna cut out. I gotta cut out. I'll catch y'all next week or whenever. But I'll call you, Lee. I'll get up with you, Lee, about videoing.
All right, I'll do that. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, Ty.
All right,
Take care.
all right, man. Later. All right, see y'all later.
He had to run.
I have to mess with him. Miss Kim's on him.
My wife stays out for the most part, unless she's getting medicine or something for my mom.
Oh, now Miss Kim's cool.
The look, yep, there he is. So yeah, Jerome. So anytime you want to join in, we got the link at the top. You feel free to join in. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah. He's out there in Texas, isn't he? I knew I had watched his stuff.
No, Jerome, I'm not sure. No, he's up north, right? Jerome, where are you located? Because if I'm not mistaken,
I'm
not sure where he's located.
He's in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma too?
Yeah.
Oh,
he was one to build his house last year, I believe, and has these bees out on kind of south of his house.
Jerome, how's the weather there as far as the wind and tornadoes for you? I thought I saw something going through there.
Yeah, kind of breezy, probably.
Oh.
Look at the hillbilly beekeeper.
Oh,
He's there. He just hadn't poked his head in.
howdy.
I'm here. I'm always here.
Tornadoes last night. Yeah, I saw those going through there. We'll be lifting you up in our prayers tonight. And then 2.5 inches of rain. Yeah. Not happy.
Yeah, I just wish we'd get something to. I don't like the extreme heat. To me, I wish 75, 80 is good for me. When it starts getting 90, 100.
I think we hit 91 here today.
Yeah,
it was hot. It was hot today.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
See, that's the one saving grace I got over you guys there. It's it'll get down to 35 below, and tell you the truth, I actually kind of enjoy it. But when it gets to be like in the upper 90s, maybe it's some Norwegian blood in me. I just kind of melt. Oh, look who's here!
Yeah, we got Rob in
Hey,
here.
Rob's there. Hey, Rob. He's my neighbor.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Is he as nice in person?
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I've talked to him on the phone. He's a nice guy.
Oh man,
I need one of his vending machines. I need to put it in my front yard. Run a long extension cord out there so people can buy honey.
We was talking about mite treatment a minute ago, and I was looking around. I got my LaRob Bees vaporizer right here somewhere.
It hit 93 degrees here today.
That's a first, Lee.
Well, he just got to unbox his computer, so he's probably got computer box parts everywhere too.
I just
unboxed
the computer and had to
running
move
a
everything out of the way to
supercomputer
install this. What's that, Brad?
You running that supercomputer tonight?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Tell you what, I'll show this right here real quick.
We were on live. Me and him were talking before the stream, and he says, "Well, maybe I'll just go ahead and download Adobe." He had downloaded Adobe Cloud and
the Photoshop and Lightroom in like 2 minutes time.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
extremely fast.
Jerome's looking for a webcam. He said if y'all have any recommendations.
I'm
use
using the Nexigo, just a little cheaper.
Anything you can plug into a USB port, will get you there and back. And it also depends upon your bandwidth. If you just want to stick it at 780 or jump up better, that's my 2 cents on it.
I've got
there you go. You've got you got a laptop, so you're good.
I've got a Logitech. I think it's a 920 or something. It's 1080p. It's like $50 at Sam's Club.
Yeah, that's what I'm using here.
Lee?
Say I've got to inject something here about Rob on his vaporizer. Last summer, the base of mine came off, and we're getting right up to the treatments. And I just wanted to get some advice on what to replace their, whatever. Doggone if you didn't just go in and send me a whole replacement bowl free of charge, like the next day. Now that's customer service. I was just so impressed by that. So just had to bring that up there. Not trying to, butter him up at all. I was just genuinely impressed.
So Lee, what kind of computer did you buy?
Always scan this section.
Wrong one.
What the hell was that?
That's my computer. The keyboard that I have doesn't actually have a num lock key on it.
Okay.
So I got to go in manually to turn it on with this computer because the keyboard is a video editing keyboard. So
Really?
But it's a custom piece. See, they build them in Oregon. To be honest, I don't remember the name of it, but I went from a dual core to a 16 core processor.
What was that like?
World of difference. Got 16
Well, I mean,
core.
is Intel making that now or what?
Say that again.
Is Intel making that processor or
Yeah, that's the Intel i9 12th generation.
i9? Okay, got 7 is what I got. And that's what I asked my computer guy, and he said, well, and I think either you guys told me this and somebody else. He said right off the bat, well, first thing is you got to get rid of the laptop and get yourself a piece, a tower or something in order to boost up your video RAM and your. That's one thing you did tell me, Lee, is that whatever you call it, the RAM that versus the RAM that uses your processor. And
Always
stuff.
scan this section.
What
Yeah.
the heck is that? Always scan this section.
I'm trying to get this back to the on-screen keyboard so that I could change and turn on this little numlock button. But yeah, I went from the laptop that I had with just shared video RAM. It didn't have an actual graphics card in it. And this one has the RTX 3070
Start
Ti.
magnifier.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
your
a-
graphics
that's
card
a
has
blocking
Start on
point.
screen keyboard.
your graphics card has what, 8 or 12 gigs of RAM on it. By
I believe
itself.
this is the 12 gig. Or no, I'm sorry, 8 gig.
So
How much RAM can you get on a video card?
Well, depending on how much money you want to spend. If you want
Yeah,
the
you can get
3090,
2 terabyte
you're looking
video
at
cards,
24
right?
gigs of video RAM.
Yeah.
But you're looking $2,000 just for the card.
No. Can't afford that.
Now the
So
whole
I gotta-
computer, I got it. Like I said, it's got the 3070 Ti, 16 cores, 32 gig RAM. It was like $2,600.
I've got a question for Rob here. Ian's taken his. Who makes that? Who's the big oxalic acid thing?
ProVap.
Yeah, ProVap. He takes his and then wraps his with some type of insulation for faster recovery time.
Yeah, that was a muffler wrap.
Yeah, thank you. Rob, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that because I don't want to screw up your beautiful tool there. And I'm not certain I need faster recovery time with only like 10 hives, 20 hives, whatever. But if he'd love to charm into that.
Well, I will say Larabi's is the best value for the dollar that you're
Hands down.
spending. Hands down.
And
for
best customer service.
I've been completely happy with it so far. It's done everything that I've needed.
I bought the ProVap before Larabi's was in business, so, and before Jono. Otherwise, I would have probably went another route. But I mean, I like it; it's working, but it's quite a bit higher, quite a bit more expensive than the Larabi's vaporizer.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to Rob making available the retrofit to swap out the bottom tube.
He says you don't really need it. I've done a lot of testing with it in the freezing temperatures over the winter. It will not hurt. Here,
See, that's what I was wondering about your wattage there. Thank you very much, Rob. For I figured you'd probably gone down that route.
You just have to keep the moisture off the heating element.
Wonderful.
If Jerome's still in here, I'm dropped the link in here for the webcam that I'm using.
There you go.
Yours is the $170 version, right?
70.
Yeah, that's what I linked with
69.
72.
And it's a 1080. Does everything I need.
There you go.
Hey, Lee, Jerome said he has a water-cooled motherboard. You ever heard of that?
That's what I got in here.
That's what I got
water cooled for the processor.
Yeah, processor water cooled. Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's see. Bring this up, and I'll show you what it looks like right here.
Oh, blow that up.
That's
I
a
want to see that
jukebox.
good. Oh, that's a hoot.
And
Yeah.
it's shiny.
I even got a remote control for all the LEDs in it.
No
That's a
way.
jukebox.
Turn them on, off,
Thank
change
you.
colors.
It's a jukebox.
Hey, we got to have toys to play with.
What kind of music?
Amen.
What kind of music does it play?
I don't
Do you have
hardly listen
Elvis
to a
in there?
radio. Even in my car, I don't turn the radio on. When I turn the radio on, my CB is tied into my
Water cools
radio,
great.
so
No
it
leaks.
plays
Yeah.
my CB.
Yeah, that's a big problem. The water leaks. Yeah. I ended up getting the big heat sink from I forget where in Germany.
Well,
And,
you know, I've had 2 water coolers, and I've never had a water cooler leak.
Well, God bless, man. That's fantastic.
Knock on
And
wood,
I think
right?
the people that do that, a lot of them, Bob, are the ones that are retrofitting it too. So I don't
Right.
know that, but
Well, I built this from scratch. Basically, it's similar to Lee's, but
yeah,
I just bought the parts and assembled it all myself and put it together.
yeah,
so.
same here. I like doing that, a little bit of control, and I've got the Asus motherboard, so I can get on there and tweak and overclock and change the fans and everything else. And
Yeah.
Yeah, the overclock on this one is 16 cores at 5.2.
what?
To on overclocking this one, it has 16 cores and it can go up to 5.2 gigahertz.
Does it come with side pipes? Good old thrush side pipes and a GMC blower out the top.
Of course,
That's amazing.
It's a nice one.
you got to read the fine print, though, because when you go to start overclocking, it'll say this could void the warranty and may damage the processor.
Yeah.
But going
Right.
from that little dual core to a 16 core, I'm not even worried about overclocking. It's
Right.
going to do
No,
everything
why
I
would
need.
you?
It's night
So
and
does
day.
that mean it's got 16 processors? It does it all at one time?
Technically, yeah, it acts like 16 processors. Well, it's 16 cores. Let's see. I'll have to pull it up here again. I don't forgot how it was stated.
You know, I was trying to think of a good way to explain multiple cores to somebody once, and I said, "Well, have you ever tried sucking a good thick milkshake out of one straw? Now put a second straw in there and see how much easier it is." So think
So he's
about
got-
multiple cores.
Lee's got 16 straws.
This one is one socket, which is one processor, but it's 16 cores, so it acts like 24 logical processors.
That's just bloody fantastic.
And like I said,
The
up to
range.
5.2 gigahertz.
You know, the biggest thing I got is like with this computer I'm using here is it doesn't have, you know, onboard RAM for video, and when I'm rendering videos, when it goes from a transition to the next part of the video, it'll kind of like freeze and you keep on.
Yeah, you got the stuttering.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
got stutters there a little bit. I'm like, I want it to go just like I see it on
Yeah.
on
See,
YouTube. So I
Even with my laptop, mine was like that. It didn't have the onboard or the separate video card. It was a shared video memory.
right.
And with Premiere Pro, you can actually lower your quality for editing down to like a quarter of the full quality just for
You know,
editing.
Mike,
But it will
I do
still
that
render
too.
full.
I hit it. I go by. I lower it down to half, and it helps. You
Yeah.
know. But then when you get it below that, then the clarity of the video kind of gets crappy.
Yeah.
A
Mine,
fire
even
on
at a
your
quarter,
memory-
it was
on
still
your
jumping.
graphics card, Rob.
He was
What
mining. He was mining cryptocurrency. Yeah, I've got a cryptocurrency miner out on my porch in my honey house now. It's sitting out there. It's got 6 graphics cards on it.
Wow.
So it's just a computer with 6 graphics cards that mines cryptocurrency. So hey, we went all the way from beekeeping to computer building to cryptocurrency all in the same show. Where else can you get that kind of diversity? And mead making, right?
What kind of software do y'all use for editing?
I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
I use Filmora 11.
I'm
That's
using
what I use.
Shotcut.
Is that what you use?
Mm-hmm.
What you use,
I
Brad?
like it. I mean, I'm learning it. You know, all the little tweaky things about it. My biggest thing is like I had a video on that the Georgia video. There was some noise. I'll say pops is what they were. They sound like pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, okay, how do I delete just the pop? I don't want to delete the video part of it. And you can disconnect your video from your audio, but I don't see any way to reconnect it. And the only other thing I found is if I cut the video, slice it or whatever, and a friend of mine said who does Filmora Pro is to pull the sound bar down so it almost
That makes sense.
mutes that out.
Now, like on Adobe Premiere Pro, if I right click on the video, I can unlink it from the audio. But to relink it, you have to drag and highlight the video and audio and then right click and you could relink it.
Okay.
But you have to select both of them and then tell it to relink.
Well, like I said, one guy who had the Pro, he said, now if you cut the audio and take a section out of that, let's say that pop sound.
Yeah, clip it.
Well, the problem there is now your audio is
Other
in
thing.
sync with your voice, with your, character's voice.
Well,
if it snaps back, right?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you can space your audio out, so you just end up with a blank spot, and then you stay in sync. But what is this? The Beehive Homestead, the Texas beekeepers going great. Chickens love it. Were you feeding dead bees to the chickens?
He was asking. I missed the comment.
Uh,
Nebraska was 45 degrees today. It was double that here.
Like I said, the last job that I did in Nebraska, I was in Norfolk, July, August, and September. We would go to work in the middle of August with a long sleeve or a jacket on, and then by lunch you could take it off. And that's middle of the summer. It's still cool in mornings.
wow. No, that's pretty good. Well, guys, I'm going to go and tend to the ghost pepper honey here.
All right.
All right.
I would want to try that. That'd be nice.
Something, I'm pretty excited about it. But Charlie, where are you as far as? Because I kind of know the weather in Maryland more than I do the other guys here. My cousin lives there.
I'm close to Baltimore. I mean, I'm in Harford County, which is
Right. Right. But
if you're looking at a map of Baltimore, I'm to the right-hand side. My county touches the Susquehanna River.
yeah. What I was going to ask is, where are you as far as in the process of your beehives?
In the beehives?
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to rain here in the next couple of days, but it's been in the 70s and close to 80 a few days here lately. It's still kind of a sort of a roller coaster, but it's starting to settle down since May got here. And I got like my honey hives. I've got supers on. I've had supers on them. I've got like 3 of my hives. I've got like 2 to 3 supers on that they're really packing it away. And then there's other ones who are weak. And that's the next video I got to get out there is this here single brood chamber management, where this to teach how it really works.
Yeah.
I was watching Bob's when he put that queen excluder on. I said, now he's doing single brood. Now what you need to do is pull all that backfill out of there and give him something open space so she can lay.
Yeah. So when I put that queen excluder on there yesterday, I actually, before I put the queen excluder on, I actually had checkerboarded the empty frames they had on the side and spread out the brood.
Yeah.
And
why?
Because it's 90 degrees and they didn't have anything in the brood box. They still had empty room on the outside, but they had empty frames, but they moved up and they're killing the supers. They're drawing all the supers out and storing.
Okay,
So,
no, the only reason I was asking about that, Bob, is that if I've got a hive that I know I'm not going to get to for a while, then I'll put maybe one frame in between the broods, just to make sure that they do have room. But if you checkerboard all throughout the brood thing, you can really drop that down as far as
Bob, did you watch Bob Binney's, that guy down in Asheville, his neighbor, friend that's
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of, Charlie. Thank you.
I didn't watch it.
He's down there in Asheville, and he talks about, there's a 2-part video, and he talks about where you shouldn't break up no more than 2 frames of brood. They should be side by side. If you have empty brood and empty, that brood frame might produce a queen cell because it thinks it's by itself or something, but not part of the hive.
I'll go back. I'll go check it out tomorrow.
Let's see. That guy is.
But the queen had already moved up into the first honey super and was walking around.
That's why they're backfilling.
Right.
If you keep her down there in that bottom deep, and she's got plenty places to lay. Because they were starting to backfill, is what you were saying.
Right.
She will lay up all that empty, so they can't backfill because they're not going to put honey where the egg is.
Right.
And you will manipulate them bees as long as you got a good population. It looks like to me you do. They will push all that honey up into the supers, and then if she's got like say brood up in the supers, just let it hatch out and they'll fill it up with nectar.
Well, I didn't see any eggs in there, but my old eyes and the white foundation.
Yeah, you can't see diddly with that white foundation.
So
that was Beekeeper Greg Rogers. I just put up the title of that. That's
Greg Rogers. Yeah, he's got 2 different videos. He's commercial and around Asheville. But
I'll go check it out.
But what you need to do is keep her down in the bottom, let her lay everything up, and then when she gets, let's say, 4 frames of cap brood, pull 2 of those frames out of there with the bees on them, and put those 2 with one of your weak nukes or hives or whatever.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is, the whole idea behind this is to manage the bee population where she is at. And you got to have some cap brood to replace the dead bees that are dying. But you don't want to get her, too much population, a tremendous amount. If they're overflowing, they're going to want to swarm, or she'll draw. And that kind
So, Rob, as far as flavoring honey, it depends on what you're doing. If you're just mixing in like essential oils like peppermint or whatever, you can just put that in your honey. You really want to have it about 90 degrees just to liquefy it so that things mix equally. If you're doing herbs or something like that, you need to get up to about 115 degrees. And that would be if you were going to flavor it with like vanilla bean too. You need to do about the same thing. So that's just my 2 cents. He was asking about honey sticks flavoring. Yeah. So that's otherwise just keep it low and and pull it out and so on. Just the 2 cents there. Guys, have a good time. We're going to start running all those all those boards through the massive Tokyo Ironworks planer tomorrow. That'll get exciting.
On finishing your boards or your boxes, are you painting them, or are you dipping them, or what are you doing?
I am priming the outside, and I'm using the ceramic paint on the outside. So that's that. And then the other thing that's about these is that every one of them is going to be datoed, so you can split it up into, like a dual, like 4-frame nuke. And I think about 10 of the boxes. I'm going to also put 2 other grooves in there for a 3-way mating nuke. So just as long as you got the doggone thing apart, why not dado those dividers in? You don't have to drill the holes. You're just, giving yourself the option there in case you want to convert the equipment. So that's what I'm doing there. And then all the boxes have got the rough interior too.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm done.
No. I was just saying that I actually have one of the YouTube people that hang out in our chats a lot, Dennis L. I don't know if you've seen him in the chat. He's coming by my house tomorrow, so we're gonna hang out for a little while. So that's pretty cool. So if you live in this area or you're coming through Columbia, South Carolina, hit me up. We'll catch up.
Bob, and I'll tell you what, if I ever lose a bet, I'll be there right away. No, honestly, I just can't handle the heat down there. It's beautiful. I was down there in 77, and neither here nor there. If I don't get off this thing, I'll never get off.
I got you.
It's wonderful. Charlie, Bob, Lee, all the wonderful audience out there. God bless and have a great and prosperous week.
All right, we'll see you later, Mike. You have a good week as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, Mike.
But so yeah, I did the kiddos today. I don't know if you saw that video yet, Charlie.
No, I seen what do you call it, a thumbnail of it, but I just didn't have time to.
Yeah, that's me. I get so many video notifications today. It's hard to catch up with them.
Yeah, here lately, I guess everybody's starting to really do a lot of videos, and I just like, man, I'm backlogged all the ones I normally like to watch, and then
there's Dennis. He's in the chat.
And all that.
So hey, bring your veil. We can go through that big colony and see how I screwed it up yesterday.
Depending on weather, bring the veil or the jacket, huh?
It's supposed to be 90 degrees here again tomorrow. So,
well, now on that big hive, like you got the deep in the bottom. Are there, what is it, 4 honey supers on top?
3 right now.
3 of them, and the top one's pretty much full of nectar.
Yep, and then they started drawing out all the comb and filling the one box of blank foundation that I put in there. And so I under-supered it with another one, and that the blank, the new drawn-out comb, was the one where I found the queen in it, and that's when I made the decision to go in there and shake her into the bottom box and put the queen excluder on, and try to give her some space to calm any swarming, because there was one cup they were starting to draw, and I crushed that off of there and put her in the bottom.
Yeah, but did you have one there that had? No, I guess that was Brian Castle Hives. He had about 3 or 4 of them on the side. But yeah, just monitor the brood in the bottom box. Keep her down there. Now, one thing I've noticed this year with my single brood chamber management is that when I first put the first super on, the ones that are strong, I open up the darn inner cover.
And they're all in there.
And the super, honey super, is just packed full of bees.
Yep.
And that super is packed full of nectar.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, there's a good visual gauge. If you've got plenty of bees in the super and plenty of bees downstairs, you got the right population. And
that was the nuke that I just put in 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's one of them
super nukes, what I call it.
Super nukes. Yeah. From up there, Bly Supply or whatever.
Yeah, from Blythewood Beeson. Bee Company. Yeah. And I was like amazed. I went out there after 24 hours to try to find the queen after I put the nuke in, and they were on 10 frames. So I'm like, well, they're going to want more room real soon once those broods start hatching out. So I put 2 supers on it. One of them was foundation and one of them had comb in it, and they just went to work. I mean, they didn't waste
That's
any
some
time.
acorn. Is that acorn white?
Yeah, the acorn white. And Lee, I sent you that picture. Can you
Which one is it?
the one where I sent you the picture of the super? I think I got it on Facebook. If you don't, I can let me see.
But just keep adding, and that's what I learned so far this year as far as the strength of the hives. Now, I had one hive that the bees were down in the box, but they weren't up in the super. So last 2 weeks ago, when I got back from Georgia, I went through all them honey hives. I had those strong ones, and I'd pull 4. Well, of course, I'm doing mediums, but I'd pull 4 or 5. I think there was at least 5 or 6 brood frames out of this one hive that was really strong and doing great. And I threw it in that other hive that needed the boost and all. And that's what I've been doing.
So this is that's super. I don't know if you can see it very well,
I
Charlie.
see it.
But they're on both sides of every frame.
Yeah, but see, that's a good. I mean, to me, that's what it's supposed to look like. I mean, that's a honey super, right?
Yep, that's the honey super medium.
Yeah,
honey
well,
super.
that I mean, I don't know. I look at some of these guys. Oh, look how many bees, and I'm like, where? There is no bees on top of the bars. Like say in the hive area, as far as the brood chamber. And I'm like, well, you ain't got no bees. And I open up some of my hives, and I can't see the bars. That's how covered they are.
Right.
And I said, that's what it's supposed to look like, or at least that's what I think it does.
Well, the thing about this one, Beehive Homestead, is this was a nuke I bought 2 weeks ago.
I'll be back.
All right. That's a nuke that I put in 2 weeks ago. So they've already drawn out the bottom and moved up into the super, and now they're drawing the super out. That was in a video. When did I put that video out? I think yesterday. It's called Super Nuke something I put in there. But it was pretty impressive to me because just the rate that they, the amount of time they've been in there and how they've started building up real quick. Anyway, I removed that. Let me stop sharing that. We just got production going on tonight, man. Flipping screens.
Yeah. The Super Nuke inspection was 1 day ago, it says.
So, yeah, it was it's a long video, but I went through the whole thing and ended up adding a super. Then I ended up tearing it back down and putting the queen in the bottom, adding an excluder, which I don't usually use excluders, but I'm trying something new. And it's going pretty good. So this is something new. The single brood chamber management for me is something new. The under supering is something new. I'm just trying different things to find out what works, right?
Well, ever since I started, which, like I said, has only been since 2020, I started out whenever I put supers doing the under super. Because the way I was explained, if they go through that empty super to finish filling that first one, they get their scent all over the new super, so they're more likely to take to it and start working on it.
This, hey, Jerome, to give you an idea, I put out a chicken feeder with 1-to-1 in it the other day, and no bees got on it at all. So showed me it was going pretty good. So got a video on that too, by the way. I know you got so many subs. I mean, so many things going on, but yeah, they weren't touching it at all. So it's pretty good right now. I can't complain. I just wish some of my stupid things I did early in the year are coming back to roost with me right now. Okay, so if I use excluders, make sure to provide an upper entrances, reduces the wear and tear on the bees' wings since they don't have to cross it as much. I gotcha. Do you do that, Lee? Do you put an upper entrance on yours?
I put a couple of the upper guardian entrances, but they didn't really seem to use them. They'd have a couple of guard bees at it, but never seen anything coming in it.
Well, I've got a bunch of them
So I
that
just
I
quit
haven't
using them.
even opened up. So I know they're using it on the Demarace hive, though. They are using that top entrance.
Now, last year I didn't really use the queen excluders last year, except on my comb honey colonies.
Well,
This year I am starting to use them a little more.
Jerome, that could be anything. That could be that could even just be a disc, a hole with a disc in it. It could be a shim.
Some of them just drill a 3/4 inch hole in the top box, right under the edge of the lid.
Hell, last one I didn't even take the super off. I just took the drill out there with extension cord, drilled right into it, and changed it to a screwdriver and screwed the disc on the box.
I don't use any upper entries. I've tried the ones where you set your boxes back, and all
Right.
that stuff, and where they have just enough for them to go in, and they're supposed to shed the water and all that stuff, and it's also supposed to make your honey dry out faster. And
yeah, that's the main reason I was wanting to use it, for drying the honey down faster, because I was having trouble last year with all the rain we had.
Right.
Humidity, I mean, they just wouldn't drying it down and capping it. So I put the upper entrances on, that way try to get airflow through, and it didn't really seem to help either.
Well, the last couple days I've had a problem with bearding on one of my colonies from the temperature. And in my opinion, I know why they do the bearding, because of the temperature in the colony, right? So how do if they're bearding on the outside, they're not working on the inside. So how is adding a box to the top going to lift enough of the heat out?
Now, one thing that I
Draw the bees in?
did, another thing that I did to help the flow come through and let some heat out, I was running telescopic covers last year. I'm getting away from that, going to migratory now. But whenever I had the telescopic cover on, I would take that off, pop up my inner cover, and I would put just a little small stick under the edge of the inner cover to create a little air gap in there, and it would let the excess heat out.
I'm not sure if that colony's got
If you watch me on mine, you'll see me putting these little wooden blocks. They're about 5. Well, I measured it because there's a recess in the inner cover, but they're about 5/8 thick. They're about, I don't know, an inch wide and about 1.5 to 2 inches long. And I put one on each corner, front corner, and that jacks that telescoping lid up. And it doesn't let the bees get up in there, but it'll let that air flow. And I leave them on year round.
Yeah. M&J, I hadn't used the quilted boxes for ventilation. I mean, if I lived up north, I guess, where we had more cold, extreme weather, I would probably invest in a little bit of the quilt box maybe. But down here in South Louisiana, it's so hot, I didn't really see the need for it, because normally I've seen that just used for winter to control the moisture in the hive.
What I've been doing is I'll take a 1x2 and make a feeder shim, and then I just drill holes in it and put screen on it as ventilation to let it out. And the bees will propolize it if it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that too.
I've seen some of them take the paint stir sticks you get from the hardware store and just cut little pieces off and put it under the edge of the inner cover, where the inner cover and the box meet, just to create a little air gap.
But is that enough for bees to get out, or is it?
No.
All right. It's enough for beetles to get in, though.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. I might have to. I'll figure it out.
I also asked there's a club I belong to up in Westchester, PA. They're big on Demery.
Right.
And,
that's where I saw one of the videos from their club too, doing it.
Yeah, and I asked the one friend of mine up there that does it, and anyway, basically, you like you say, you got your brood chamber in the bottom, and Ed puts a honey super in the middle, and then he puts another, I'll say, brood box up at the top. He's pulling the cat brood from the bottom, I think it is, and puts it up top.
Right.
And then she's constantly laying in the bottom, and then as soon as the brood is hatched on the top. He's bringing those frames back down to the bottom and
Is he?
constantly keeping that queen laying all the time.
Well, with mine, I went in it last week. I did cheat a little bit. I did give her an extra frame of drawn comb down there, but she had like 5 or 6 frames of with brood in it down there.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I watched the video, you had it weakened down pretty bad.
Well, I sabotaged it, right? Because I mean, I said that in my videos as I was going through the series. I was robbing frames of brood because they were making queen cells, and I was using those to put into other colonies without queens. Had I not done that, had I gone through and just crushed the queen cells, I would be in a much better situation as far as that particular colony. But yeah, she's going to work though. She's down there working. I thought the last video, I went queenless because I didn't see her, but then I went back in a few days later and now she was in there laying. I just didn't catch her.
Well, I mean, that's what it, just like you learned not to do splits in February.
Well, we can normally do them down here, but we got snow like twice back to back and it just kind of crushed us. But that's when everybody's starting to do their down here, like Valentine's Day is kind of like the day everybody does their splits and everything. But
yeah, it's like down there at the where I went for the bees down there, they start grafting on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Or week or whatever it is.
And I'm trying to debate right now if I'm going to make one more trip to Cutix and buy some more queens.
Well, now, like I said, you could be if you want to make some money out of honey and bees. I mean, you could get yourself put the word out that you'll have nukes available. In the springtime or whatever month they can have them for you, and then get a prepaid list of people, and then
go down and buy them. Yep.
Which I mean, that's what my friend that I drive, help him get packages. All those nukes that he gets from Cutix and all the packages he get, they're all prepaid before he ever gets them from the customer.
Right.
And especially like the nukes. So he has a list. He already knows. He sends out a mass email to all these people, say, hey, okay, nuke pickup is, well, actually, I think he does is he sends out, what do they call it? A doodle or whatever, where you sign up he says, these are the times you can come either early in the morning or late in the evening.
Right.
Pick the nukes up, and you sign up as a customer and then show up and pick them up because they're prepaid. The people's already paid you for them before you ever get them.
Well, I've got right now, Blythewood Bee Company is actually telling their customers when they get called for queens and stuff, they're giving them my number to call to pick up queens. So I'm making a little bit.
Like to me that you're not treading on their toes in their business then.
Right. Well, they don't have any queens and they don't have any nukes. They've sold the nukes they're going to sell this year. So at this point, if they got somebody that needs a nuke or a queen, then they're just giving them my number. So
you go pick up your nukes, you look like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, like my friend, like that video that I put out.
They brought a tractor trailer load.
Yeah, well, it came from right down there where you went and got your queens. And now they were wooden boxes, and they transferred them over into cardboard. And then the people just can't, when they come to the door, you get a rubber band and a plug. Go pick one you want, whatever, pick out which one you want. Rubber band the lid down and put the plug in.
Nice.
I think next year Cutix is going to have all those pro nukes instead of cardboard or wooden.
Now, like the apiary I get all mine from, they have the cardboard nukes, but the nukes that I bought and I actually sold Ty some, they're the corrugated plastic ones. I believe it's the JZBZ or Easy Nuke.
Oh, you mean
Jester Jester Easy.
Yeah, Jester's easy nuke.
I tell you, when it comes to them versus Man Lake cardboard, those Jesters, they cost more money, but they're
going to last a lot longer.
They actually have the distance between the ears correct.
Yeah.
And they will hold the darn frame. And Man Lake's is junk compared to theirs.
Yeah, the cardboard ones, when you open them up, your frames are already done filled into the bottom.
Because they don't have it measured right. They're a quarter. I actually made I guess it's about a quarter, or well, maybe 3/8 of an inch thick board. And it was basically like a horseshoe, because the center of it's open so the ventilation can get through, and it actually pads those frames out so they don't fall down.
Okay.
But Jester, the problem with I just checked the prices here off of Daydan or something. They're like $18 a box.
Dang, last year they were like 14.
Well, it depends on how much you buy too.
Yeah, true. You're looking at bulk price then.
Pro nukes are $20, and Daydan has Jesters for $17.95.
Yeah, but how about if you buy a pallet of them?
Oh, yeah, that's a different story, I'm sure.
Jester Easy Nuke, 10 of them it's $14.95 if you buy 10. It's the price each. If you buy 100 of them, it's $13.75 each, or 300 of them, it's $11.25 each. So at 300, you're saving 37%.
If you buy 200 Pro Nukes, they're $14.25 a piece. And they're currently out of stock at Man Lake.
The only problem, I have not had any experience with them, but my question is, plastic gets hot out in the sun.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether or not you're going to melt a bunch of bees.
Oh, I had that problem already, because when I took those after I put my nukes into their colonies and I made splits into the nukes to sell,
Yeah.
I had some baked bees in the bottom. So
of the Pro Nukes.
Yep, of the Pro Nukes. So I went ahead and put them in wooden.
Oh, I had 4.
So I think I'm gonna go to making them up the night before, and then somebody come pick them up in the morning, and they'll put them in, put them in the Pro Nuke at night when it's cooler, and they can pick them up in the morning and put them right in their boxes. But Lee, you're running overtime.
Yeah, I was seeing that. I'm about to have to go ahead and run. I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of the night.
Well, we can go ahead and call it. It'll be fine.
It's 10 minutes 11 now. Here.
So,
yeah, y'all an hour ahead of me too.
Yep. Hey, we appreciate everyone. Earl, if you want to call me afterwards, I'll be up for a few minutes. I apologize for not getting to you, but I wasn't feeling well this afternoon, and I went and laid down, and that was a wrap. So, not ignoring any calls. I was just had my phone on silent from doing the kids thing today and forgot to turn the ringer back up.
Hey, but let me give you one more tip there. Something that I learned making nukes up, like you say, about them getting hot, and all that. Something that Leah actually, or Lloyd, who I go with the truck, he kind of keyed me in on it, where I have 5/5 when it comes to nukes. And you go out there and you find the queen where she's at, and you make that nuke up in that top box, what you want to put in there, brood and food and all that, put her in there. But I've got those 5-frame queen excluders I shove in between the two.
Right.
Then now you've caged her to the top box of.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you got a customer coming in at, let's say, 6 o'clock in the evening. You can go out there at 1/4, and in 5 minutes transfer it over to a cardboard box, and you probably going to spot her on the frames anyway. That's what I always try to do to find her. And there's none of that, hunting.
Right.
And it's quick and easy. And what the biggest thing, I had that here where I did it on a Wednesday, That next day was 80 degrees and humid. Well, the beekeeper wasn't stressed out as I would have been. The bees weren't stressed up because they were in wooden, because they had plenty of ventilation.
Right.
And by the time the customer came, we had had a little rain or shower, and it was cooler. There he is.
We were waiting to see what you were eating tonight.
And
Are we going to take bets before he tells us?
I'm saying McDonald's drive-through tonight.
I'll say Wendy's.
I was going to say either Arby's or Wendy's.
He might have threw us for a curve. He might have went to Sonic so he could get some free peppermint.
But it keeps your bees alive, and it's not hard on your base. Steak.
I've got some of those plastic 10-frame excluders, but that would work too. Just put them in, slide it in between the two boxes.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm getting at is you don't have the stress of. I had a couple of boxes go down, which I'm gonna, they were going to a friend of mine's house, and I'm gonna replace them. But I think if I'd have left them all day until he got here, and then transferred to paper, then I don't think they would have heated up and melted on him. So,
Right.
And all that.
And I want to thank Dirt Rooster for giving Hillbilly Earl and me a shout out on his video he did last week. Was it last week? I guess it was last week now.
Yeah, no, it was.
Half the time, I don't even know what damn day it is this time of year.
Yeah.
Just been busy. Yeah, we're still live. He already played a whole hockey game in between between our stream. But all right, guys, we were actually just getting ready to call it, and Randy showed up, and we appreciate you guys for sure. Hey, NKY, look at, man, everybody's commenting now. Where were y'all all show?
Hey, I was waiting for the rooster to show up.
That's what it is. They wanted Dirt Rooster to show up.
Hey, Frank, if I ain't mistaken, it was on the main street through Norfolk. I want to say Whiskey Creek or Whiskey River. That was some of the best steak I think I've ever had.
That grass-fed?
I don't know what it was, but it was good.
Most likely corn fed.
Corn-fed?
It got a lot of corn up there.
That's right.
But yeah, we were just getting ready to call it for the night, guys. We appreciate all of you. Next time, it's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Centrals when we start.
While the cutouts are going on, ain't that right, Randy?
Well, hey, at least he watches. He chimes in on us. Mr. Ed, he just lets it play in the truck while he's out of the truck doing a cutout.
Hey, James left a comment on here about the spin. I think I'm going to post a video up tomorrow. That way everybody can leave a comment on that video, and I can pull all the names and put them on a wheel, because everybody's kind of been in and out the different chat rooms, so it's kind of hard to get the names straight. I'll post the video up, let everybody leave a comment on that, and then I'll pull the names off that video, and we'll do another spin.
And Dennis, I'll see you sometime tomorrow, sir. Give me a call when you're in the area. And I guess we will talk to you guys next time.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll catch y'all later.
All right. Thanks. Have a good one.
Have a good night, and thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate all of you as usual. Thank you for hanging out and taking the abuse. And, we will definitely see you guys on the next go around. Probably, you know us. We'll have a live stream probably sometime this week. We just don't guarantee it. We guarantee this show, but the other ones are definitely free for alls. Everybody's always welcome to come into the stream. We drop the link.
We can guarantee Tuesday night, and we can guarantee one other night during the week. Just don't know what night it is.
Yep. So, we'd like to have, NKY on, Salty Bee Lady, all y'all that ain't never been on. We'd like to see y'all join in the chat and come on live and, help promote your channels and everything. And, try to get everybody to subscribe. And anyway, guys, y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next show.
Thank y'all. Good night.
Thanks.